Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another King of the Hill. I believe this is the 10th King of the Hill we have live streamed, and it's a very special event here today as we did hit the 400 sub mark. So a massive shout out to you guys for the never ending and continuous support. It's honestly been a really big boon to have in the channel. And of course, we have the standard King of the Hill rules in play today. It is a best of one winner stays on, with the competitors trying to get the longest win streak and also be king at the end of the stream. We have Papa Palpatine, as you can see already up in the lobby here, coming up against Chosen One in round 1. Then we have the competitors Stormrunner, Zymerix, Consul of Rome, RTK's very own Davin AQ, and Darth Pendragon. We also have Nomru, Noob for Life, and King of the Dead waiting in the win, just in case we have any lag issues or any such things, which can occasionally appear. And we're going to be playing on Troll Country, so very exciting indeed. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are excited to see some pretty crazy action. I'm expecting some good plays, some wild plays as well. The King of the Hills always certainly, encourage pretty crazy tactics to try and get people to, please the crowd, become the champion of the stream. So it should be some good fun. And we're just waiting for Chosen One to load in now. Drop him a little invite. I did say he did just pop online. And he, of course, will be representing ODM as well. Papa Palpatine representing my own clan, Death Before Dishonor here. So should be some good fun. Apologies as well for everyone who tried getting into the King of the Hill. We are kind of going through competitors quite quickly now. We get a lot of people kind of apply all at the same time, and it is a first come, first serve basis. So if you do want to get involved, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just down in the description below, and it looks like Chosen One has arrived. All hail. Actually, no, we won't say all hail. Yeah, we wait for that. Can you save that for the king? Hey, dude. So blind picks it is. So normally, in a King of the Hill, the king will pick a faction and ban 2 until he wins 3 games in a row, in which case he will, or 2 games in a row, sorry, in which case he will pick one and ban one. But for the first game, we do go for nice blind picks. It's a little bit of added excitement early on, and it's, a relatively fun and fair way to do blind picks for round, for this round. Cool. We are going to be playing on Troll Country here, a favourite of mine to kick off with the streams, because it's nice, close quarters, blood and thunder affair. You get to see a lot of combat very early on. How's it going, dude? See you in chat. Davina. And yeah, should be some good fun. So this is the 10th King of the Hill, which is pretty damn exciting. I was going to do a special little twist on it, but I think we're going to keep it fairly standard for now. But if anyone in there in chat who is competing today wants to have a random faction assorted to them, I do have a Wheel of Doom which will pick a faction for you if you don't want to, go too competitive with it and try and ban people and so forth. Chosen One has now sent his pick through. Let's see if Papa Palpatine has done the same in Discord. Looks like he has indeed. Oh, this is going to be a fight. This is awesome. Okay, Beastmen versus Greenskins. That is going to be a savage and ferocious battle. So we have both picks. Oh, never mind. Looks like they're all good. That's pretty. This is going to be absolute carnage. A matchup you don't get to see too often, as both these factions certainly have kind of better counters to them, so a lot of people don't kind of counter in with these ones, but it's going to be interesting to see if Papa Palpatine does go with the traditional summon build, coming in with those Man's Calls and Cygors and Chaos Spawn and so forth, which will do fantastic work up against the Greenskins. Both forces here have large entities as well to tear out the rather low leadership of each other's forces. Should be some good fun. Very good fun indeed, but of course, Papa Palpatine not one to pick normal, kind of, standard picks with people bringing bills, likes to be a little bit off guard, catch people out of their element and take them down. Mirror, unfortunately no mirror. We did have a Chaos Mirror last time, however, Stormrunner, with Mirror Guard versus Mirror Guard, Sigvald versus Sigvald, I believe it was. It was ridiculous. Fun to cast though. Poor Chosen One, what will he do about my memes? Hey Ronan, how's it going? Good. Hope it. Can't speak today. My mouth isn't working. Hope it is going all good for you. Go Papa. Looks like we have some Papa Palpatine representation in chat here by A Move. Savage and ferocious. That's what she said. Damn right. This is going to be fast. That is also, unfortunately, what she said, Stormrunner. So, 4 giants. That could be some good fun. But yeah, I can certainly see a lot of the large single entities being used here. But at the same time, both of these forces can actually skirmish relatively effectively. I've been watching a lot of Darth Plays videos recently. He's been making excellent work with Wolf Riders and so forth. And of course, Beastmen have Centaurs, throwing axes, and a load of fast-moving troops in general. Good luck, have fun. Looks like Chosen One was ready for this. Looks like he maybe been prepared with a greenskin build up against Beastmen. Anyway, not sure if I've seen him use greenskins yet, but I'm expecting a DLC for them relatively soon, hopefully in the next coming months. Hopefully the virus won't, delay it any longer than it needs to. So, might be a good idea to get in practicing with the greenskins while we still can. I know it was me. Oh, okay, perfect. Someone I couldn't remember who was being involved in that battle. Dave the White Lizard, nice to see you around, man. Haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you're doing all good and nice and safe in these troubled times. And Consul, what's up, man? Excited to see you play. So, for anyone who has just joined, we are doing a King of the Hill, and you've made it just in time for the first game between Papa Palpatine and Chosen One. It is a best-of-1 matchup, and the competitors after this are Stormrunner, Zymerix, Consul of Rome, Davin AQ, and Darth Pendragon. Looks like Papa Palpatine is ready. This is going to be fun. I'm so excited. Like button, like button, like button. Indeed. Indeed. If you do hit that like button, a little duckling is born into the world. And my duck army becomes even more powerful. One day, the ducks shall rule the humans. And I will remember all those who liked and subscribed and all that good stuff. I've also got an exciting announcement as well. I'll do some of the downtime in between games of a little side project I'm going to be starting to work on, and with some nice help as well from a few people in the Total War community, and it should be some good fun. But anyway, let's get in here and check out the builds. So, for Papa Palpatine, the Sith Master himself, we have, looks like, Ungol Herds in the front line. Cheap and cheerful. Looks like they are chevroned up quite heavily here. They're just going to be holding the line, do a decent job up against the lower tiered Goblin infantry and so forth, mainly because of the chevron. Looks like we also have the Destroyers of Drakwold here, the Regiment Renowned version, mixed in with a few more elite units here of Bestigors. Looks like we have 2 of these fellows indeed. No Regiment Renowned, unfortunately, but a nice standard front line. We also have quite a lot of fast-moving units here. We have some Razorgore Herds who, honestly, in my personal opinion, one of the best units on the Beastmen roster for their cost. They're very cheap, they have quite a lot of mass, they can pin in large entities, and have decent AP stats overall. We also have 2 Gorbles in the front line. They're going very old school. I remember when this used to happen back in Total War Warhammer 1. These guys are going to try and bully their opponents, but could perhaps get flung around by big single entities. We have the Butchers of Kalkengard and Malagor the Dark Omen. What is this? We see someone slightly different here than the standard competitive pick. But he does come in with Arcane Conduit, Savage Dominion, so he can summon those Cygors, and Vile Tide, which could be very powerful here. Super fun build overall, going very hardcore and heavy metal here, going to come crashing into the Greenskins as fast as possible. Now for the forces of Chosen One and the Greenskins himself, he has Azag the Slaughterer up on the high ground here, on his mighty Wyvern. Let's see what spells he's brought. Of course, he has the War, Soul Blight, which can be very good helping to deal with, the big nasty creatures, lowering those armor and making little Greenskins pack a little bit more of a punch. We also have Spirit Leech as well. It's actually going to work very well up against Malagor, thinking about it. So we have Goblins for the front line mixed in with Savage Orcs. So Savage Orcs will fare much, much better than these poor little Gobbos down here. They're not going to be up to too much, unfortunately. Probably just trying to swoop around the flanks and get nice bonuses to combats. But yeah, nice front line there. In the back line, we have some Goblin Wolf Chariots mixing with Squig Hoods and Trolls here. So the Trolls certainly going to be effective at helping to beat down that infantry and even do decent damage to the Bestigors, although they can give as good as they get as well. We have the Arachnarok Queen, the Regiment Renowned Spider here. Not only is it horrifying to look at, it does decent damage, it's anti-large, can really help drag out an engagement. What else do we have for the main battle line? Looks like we have a couple units of Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Unfortunately, no wolves to be seen, but we do have 4 units of those for nice harass and, yeah, should be able to hunt down Centaurs and so forth. But unfortunately for him, the Beastmen haven't brought any of those. Looks like we do have some sneaky Vanguards coming in by the Forest Goblin Spider Riders here, dotting all around the map. We also have some Hounds coming in from the Beastmen, and it looks like I did miss out a Razorgore Chariot as well. Going to be pretty decent here, actually, dragging through those Goblin infantry, but if it does get pinned in on Trolls or the Spider and so forth, these guys could be in some serious trouble. Anyway, without further ado, let's see if these guys are ready. Looks like Chosen One is just waiting on the Papa Palpatine himself. Park Map, how's it going, dude? I hope you're all good. Yes, no Pacta. I even sent him a message this time. Pacta is famous for missing the King of the Hills, unfortunately, turning up just about 5 minutes after the slots have all been filled up. Did send him a little message, just try and give him a heads up to, you know, get him involved if he could, but unfortunately I think he's busy today. But wait, the battle is underway, and there is going to be a real blood and thunder affair here as both forces charge headlong towards each other. Razorgore chariots and Razorgore herds getting a little over eager and pushing ahead the rest of the army. No, looks like they are in fact going to slow down. Some early pressure coming in from the spider, and here we go. The Gorbles come crashing in. They are instantly surrounded by trolls, squigs, and the war has been popped. This Gore herd's in a little bit precarious situation, but they should be able to deal 2v1 up against those trolls. Like the butchers at Kalkengard are flocking over to try and take and pin in the Arachnarok Queen, but it looks like the Ungor herd's already broken and up on the high ground. An overload on this left-hand flank by the Greenskins has instantly terrified these Razorgore herds, and those guys are certainly going to start routing and running for the hills. Looks like we do have some spells coming casting in here as well. A nice Soul Blight going to be lowering the arm of all these Beastmen troops, including those Gorbles, which is a really big problem for them. It's going to allow the trolls to do some serious damage to them. Malagor flapping his turkey wings around and trying to stay out of danger. So it looks like on this flank things are going slightly better for the Beastmen here, with the Bestigors stacked on top of the Razorgores, tearing apart goblins and those goblin wolf chariots. But as we can see, Azag is floating over here. Looks like he's in fact dropping some nasty spells as well. And the goblins actually not doing too bad on this right flank, and it certainly looks like the early game 100% is going for the Greenskins here. A lot of the Beastmen troops have been forced off, but they still have their elite core here of Minotaurs who are tearing apart these poor trolls, and they're going to do a real good number on the Arachnarok Queen as well. You can see her lift up her little mandibles there. Mandibles, can't think what they're called, but her little legs regardless, and trying to fend off this nasty surge of Beastmen forces. We have two main engagements over here, but it looks like a summoned Cygor really helping to force back a ton of the Greenskin troops, and what looked like early Greenskin dominance is starting to waver here as the summons do start to come into play, and these big old Minotaurs do start to finally pay a little bit of damage. The Arachnarok Queen is surrounded here. Looks like Azag trying to get out of harm's way, but it's a little bit stuck up by this mighty Butcher of Kalkengard himself, holding the line, pushing Azag back by sheer force of will and brute strength, and stopping Azag getting up into the sky here. Looks like we have a second Cygor summon. Has the first one disappeared? Not quite yet. That's really going to help out the balance of power, although it looks like it is relatively even, which actually bodes a little bit poorly for the Beastmen, I suppose, when those summons do disappear. Looks like Azag, really nice play here by Chosen One. He was being hunted down by both Gorbles there, but manages to swing through his own troops, hence pinning in those Gorbles and allowing him to get back up into the skies, and that is certainly painful for the Beastmen. Really needed to drag him down there and then allow the terror and fear of the army to break Greenskins. Because without that, Gorbles are starting to take quite a lot of damage, and of course there is no healing on the Beastmen faction. If I was Azag, I'd actually probably float over here and try and drag down Malagor. He's in a little bit of a precarious situation, not doing too bad up against the Night Goblins and the Spider Hatchlings here, but there are Goblins to support as well. Perhaps though he wants to stick around here to try and deal with these nasty Minotaurs. It looks like the Gorble taking a big old charge there from Azag, although gets a nice overarching hack and slash move there. Wyvern is a mighty foe indeed. Cygor though doing a really decent job here. Look at the amount of terrified Greenskin forces, and if Azag gets isolated, he can very quickly be dragged down. But nice play once again coming in by Chosen One, bringing him up into the sky and floating away to some different combats. Balance power very even here. Looks like we have Goblin Wolf Chariots rallying. We do have some Forest Goblin Spirals who have been forgotten in the back line here. But if we take an overarching view of the battlefield, it's mainly Greenskin forces who are going to be rallying. So as the game goes on, that is certainly going to start to favour them, unless these guys can be chased down. But unfortunately, the Chaos Warhounds, who would be perfect for such a situation, have unfortunately been rounded off. We do have a second war coming in here. The Arachnarok Queen drags down that nasty Cygor summon there, and is going to start pitting in work onto the Gorble. Looks like one of them has already started to run for the hills here, and Azag probably going to hunt him down and force him off. Doesn't want him coming back, but only 78 health, he could be finished off very quickly. Without the 2v1 on the Spider, it's going to be really tricky here, I think, for the Beastmen to get back into the game. But they still have a strong core here of Bestigors, who are up to 177 kills, slaughtering Greenskins left, right and centre. Minotaurs also come flying in here, not doing too bad themselves, up to 39 kills. Mainly been going after those big targets, however. They are surrounded by Savage Orcs, Spider Hatchlings, and all of that damage is slowly going to start to add up here. Azag in the distance does chase down that Gorbel and finishes them off. That Wyvern going to be supping deliciously tonight. And as predicted, a load of the Greenskin forces are starting to rally and come back into this main fight. But a lot of them getting routed off as well. They're kind of coming in drips and drabs here, not really kind of rallying his forces here. And that has forced these trolls to be completely shattered here. And the Spider is isolated completely on her own now. And she is starting to rout. This could be a huge turnaround here for the Beastmen. Goblin Wolf Chariot's going to be getting some nice cycle charging coming in, but there's not too many perfect targets for them anymore. But does Palpatine have anything which can chase off that Spider? He does not want that to rally. It still has 1,500 health. Could be a very deadly combatant indeed. A ton of the Greenskin forces are being forced off here, guys. I don't know which way this is going to go. Can the Death Blob hold it together here in the late stages? Malagor is very healthy and an okay melee combatant himself. We have a relatively healthy Gorbel, at least for the late game here. Butchers a Calvin Guard who are going to be healing as the battle goes on. And still 22 Bester Gods here and 49 here. It's going to be tough. These trolls need to rally. They're going to be key to this engagement as well, helping to beat down those troops. Nice Vile Tide coming in here, but it was only on Spider Hatchlings, so these guys, of course, will dissipate in time anyway. So a little bit of a waste there. Probably better dropping it on these Savage Orcs here, or even the more tightly packed formation of Goblins. So we do have Squigs rallying, we have Wolf Chariots rallying, and the Arachnarok Queen. As like the longer the game goes on, he can cast more and more spells, however, he really needs to start pulling his weight and tearing down the Butchers and that Gorbel, but it's going to be tough now. I really can't call this. Balance of power is still very, very even here, as the Greenskin Horde comes swarming in from two different directions here. These little Goblin Forest Spider Riders probably not going to have the best time of it. Squig Herds have popped in as well, good answer to the Bester Gods, and in comes the Arachnarok Queen and Azag at the same time, trying to snipe out those key targets. We do have a Spirit Leech coming down on the Gorbel, and he's getting 2v1 hard here. His health absolutely being deleted here, taking an absolute pounding. But the Butchers of Calvin Guard could be a saving grace here for the Beastmen. They can do enough damage on the Arachnarok Queen and Azag to break them off. This game is most certainly theirs. Gorbel getting flung around here, but down onto the ground. At least he won't be taking damage. Down to just 660 health. But the Spider looks like maybe getting broken here, and I think the Beastmen may have this. A lot of the Greenskin units are starting to be shattered off the fields. We have one or two rallying, but Azag, down to just 650 health, manages to get back up into the sky. The Arachnarok Queen, however, is routing from the fields. Oh, this is so tight. Trolls as well, doing damage up against the Butchers, who have a Spirit Leech on them, which really could swing that engagement in the Trolls' favour. Hatchlings coming in as well. And the Gorbel is starting to waver so low on health, and can Azag carry the day? Arachnarok Queen probably going to be chased off here. It looks like some of her loyal Spider Hatchlings trying to float over here to save her. And oh no, he does in fact break. That could allow the Arachnarok Spider to rally here. What is going on? I cannot call this game at all. Butchers holding their line here, getting that constant regeneration, but down to just 80 health there. They're certainly going to break. And I think the Greenskins have this. Moments after I said the Beastmen have this in the bag. Yeah, a ton of the Beastmen troops are being chased off now. Really nice diligent play here by Chosen One, using those Spider Hatchlings to chase off the Gorbel. And it is going to be Malagor versus the world. We do just have one Butcher of Kalengard left, riding headlong here towards Azag the Slaughterer in an attempt to bring him down. Just 570 health left on that guy. And unfortunately, that last Butcher, down to just 150 health, is going to be breaking, and it's Malagor versus the world. And there is no way he would be able to bring this back from here. Chosen One still doing the right thing, chasing off units where he can, and he still has this very healthy unit of Forest Goblin Spider Riders who have just been forgotten over here. Looks like they were chasing off some troops. And yeah, with the Gorbel gone, I don't think there's enough to take down Azag. We do have the Destroyers of Drakwold here, but they're in mortal combat up against some nice little Goblin boys here, and we pulling each other apart. Poor Malagor, though, surrounded by trolls, just getting the absolute crap beaten out of him. He is getting well and truly pasted here. Although, you know, he's doing a little bit of damage back to the trolls, but these guys, of course, are going to be regenerating. We still have more Orc units as well in the distance. He has managed to shatter some of these guys off, though. How much health does he have? 2,600. Maybe some lucky RNG up against Azag, but he's probably going to have another Spirit Leech by this point. He'll be able to float back, drop that down. As far as the Drakwold leadership is starting to waver, but they are doing a very decent job up against these Goblins. 80 kills overall on these very loyal and young Beastmen here, the Ungor Spearheads, slowly dragging down these guys. And poor little Goblins trying their best, trying their heart out, but slowly being dragged down here. Yeah, it looks like the trolls have managed to stabilise a little bit, and they are getting that nice regen. Malagor, I just don't think can do enough burst damage to really drag down the trolls. There's still 6 of those guys who are circling him and beating him down with their clubs. A good play once again, using Azag just to completely break off the destroyers here, pushing that balance power even more in his favour before floating over to deal with Malagor himself. Azag popping in here, going to be getting some huge attacks, and there's just no way. You can see the leadership is starting to break, army loss is set in. What a game to kick it off here. That was insane! That was so close. Almost a fantastic comeback there by Palpatine and the Beastmen, but Chosen One really pulling it through in the late game, chasing down those key units, breaking them where he could, and used the extra mobility of Azag on his Wyvern. Really fantastic game overall. GG's. Oh my god, a backup Spider Rider. GG. That was insanely close. Cool, cool. So Stormrunner is up next. If you are in chat, please feel free to join him. And I will update the scoreboard. So Chosen One up 1-0 there. And let's get in Stormrunner. So Chosen One is the first king of the stream, but can he hold on to their crown? Needed one more win for Viletod. Those gold balls, oh my god. Since when are they unbreakable? Those gold balls held for so long, and it's some really fantastic work there. It's nice to see those guys back in action. They were very popular back in Total War Warhammer 1 when I believe it was the Potion of Strength or Toughness gave you replenishment to your health. They were really big, I seem to remember back then. But unfortunately, not so much now. Cool, so let's switch up the map so we wait for Stormrunner to hop in. And let us go. What map are we feeling? We're going to stick to sensible maps to start with. Let's go Schwarzenhafen. Ah, Malagot has plus 12 leadership. Everyone underestimates that. I did indeed. That's actually a really good ability to roll when you've got, you know, quite a low leadership army, such as the Beastmen. Hello, guys in chat. Sorry, I will only be able to read chat in between games because I do it off my phone. I don't have a second monitor yet, but looks like you guys are all good. Damn, I'm hungry. No, Ronan, grab some food. Grab some pizza, my dude. What's up, Magnus? Hope you're doing all good. Hope to see some high elves. Hopefully we get to see some high elves indeed. But that was some real good games overall. He was the chosen one after all, indeed. Trolls in troll country. It's only right that they managed to hold the line and do some serious damage. Quack, quack. Congratulations on the 400 rubber duck. Thank you so much, Poison Ducky. Yeah, I really appreciate the support everyone has been giving me. Cool, cool. Let's guys chat for a little bit before we do unfortunately say farewell to Palpatine and get in the mighty Stormrunner. After Stormrunner, we will have the Zymerix, Consul of Rome, Davin AQ, and Darth Pendragon. So a very good list of players who I'm certainly sure can be entertaining you guys here. Should be some good fun. And for those who don't know, by the way, Poison Ducky is also a Total War Warhammer YouTuber, and a very good one indeed. He's also my doubles partner, so if you do enjoy my content, I can guarantee you will enjoy his as well. So feel free after the stream to hop over to Poison Ducky, and I'm sure he will be able to link a description. Oh no, unfortunately, I think I need 1,000 subs before I can put links in chat for some reason. I don't know why, I haven't really looked into too much, but I'll try and remember to leave a link down in the description or the comment section afterwards. But if not, just type in Poison Ducky, you can go see his channel and enjoy. Cool, cool. Peace out, Papa P. So they're just chatting about the game, but we're simply, they can chat in Discord afterwards, we'll pop them in. See you all, says Palpatine, very good competitor indeed. And let's get the mighty Stormrunner in here. Where are you on my list? Can't see him here, but he may be in hidden mode, so I'll drop him a message on Discord, and we'll get him in. Oh no, there he is. Boop, I'm just being a little bit blind. So in comes Stormrunner. Hey, here he is, another DBD representative as well. Hey, dude. Turn just paint another 2v2 qualifier. Hopefully not today, because me and Poison Ducky won't be able to make it. But it depends what time it is. If it's later today, perhaps. Perhaps indeed. So, chosen picks and bans too. And we'll get this underway. Should be pretty exciting. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Hope you're doing all good. Yeah, you can try and link it in the chat, but it just won't appear. So I think it's because of the number of subs. I think you have to become like a partner with YouTube before you're allowed to put hyperlinks and links to other channels and so forth in chat, which is really frustrating. But hopefully it'll work. The loyal duck guard has arrived, indeed. And if you guys want to take part in future events like this, King of the Hills, tournaments, all that good stuff, or just send me replays or have a nice chat with a load of cool people, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just in the description down below. It is Friday. Well, Poison Ducky, if you're down for it, hopefully, if there's still space, put us down, man. Should be some good fun. I believe I have Friday free. Lizardmen banning Dowie and Coast. We are getting to see my favourite Dino boys in action. Lizardmen, certainly my favourite faction overall, both from a lore perspective and from a gameplay perspective. And banning Dowie and Coast is... oh, give me the Doom Picker! You want the wheel? So, banning Dowie and Coast, very, very clever there by Chosen One. They're very horrible to face as Lizardmen because that's so much armor piercing really does drag you down. But it looks like Stormrunner wants the Wheel of Doom. So we will get that up for him. Boop. Oh no. Where is it? Ah, hopefully you guys can see a big wheel on the screen right now, which is going to be showing all the Warhammer factions. We're just going to spin it here for a second and see what Stormrunner does indeed get. So, Vampire Counts. Oh dear, oh dear. That is a really bad matchup for him, but oh well. VC. I have a wheel. So, Vampire Counts, notoriously bad up against Lizardmen. However, I played in a recent content creators tournament up against Samurai Warrior, who actually picked Counts into Lizardmen. So I think people are starting to find, you know, different and unique ways to kind of counter the matchups, which were normally considered, you know, quite heavily in one direction or another. Fuzzy Lady! Magnus, we will hopefully get our games in soon as well. Been a little bit busy recently, of course, during the whole pandemic and so forth. My work's got kind of crazy busy, and I keep taking on way too many creative projects, which is a bad habit of mine. I like to pick up projects and then get excited about another project and pick up that one, and it mounts up till I have so many surrounding me, unfortunately. Fuzzy Lady! Hopefully we do get to see some mighty Bretonians soon. Rest in peace. I don't know, man. Stormrunner, a very crafty individual. I'm sure he's got some builds up his sleeve. It's grind time, boys. It is indeed. Stormrunner, there's a few ways you can play Counts in this build. Graveguard can do a decent job for you, so can the big old Terrorgeist, trying to snipe out those big Dino matchups and just survive with Invocation of the Hex and so forth and outgrind your opponent. But you can also bring Crypt Horrors as well. Can do a fantastic job beating down Saurus and Skinks and breaking into that back line. Now, the traditional way to play this as Lizardmen is lots of Temper Guard, Lord Croak, big dinosaurs and all that good stuff. But however, I like to play it a little bit of a different way. Probably shouldn't be saying this in case I come up against anyone, but I suppose it gives you a bit of flexibility. I love bringing Salamanders and Razordons in this matchup with a Skink army as a front line and trying to almost kite back the Vampire Counts. Salamanders so good in this matchup. Of course, they do all that extra fire damage up against, you know, units of regeneration and so forth, and they can do big burst damage to even elite units like Graveguard. So it should be some good fun. Should be good fun indeed. We'll see what all these guys do. Two very experienced and elite players. Good to see Chosen One as well. He's one of my dark horses at the moment for kind of major events when I see them. He's been playing very well recently. Up there as well with A-Move Hacker and Flying Taco. Those three guys are certainly people you want to look out for in tournaments. Samurai Warrior thinks it's even. It's interesting. I think the general consensus is that Lizardmen certainly have an advantage here. But there's so much mind games you can do now. And different ways to play it. Blood Knights, Mortis Engine, yeah, those guys can work as well. 4 Crypt Horrors is the way. They can work, but once again, if Chosen One brings Salamanders here, they destroy Crypt Horrors. I cannot stress how quickly those guys get deleted. It is absurd. You know, Umbral Tide and like another unit of Salamanders, it just deletes them. It's so glorious. Banshees can be pretty good at dragging down characters, but of course you have to be a little bit careful, as Lizardmen can bring quite a decent amount of magic damage. If they rock in someone like Croc-Gar, Hand of the Gods, that's just a click and delete situation. I'm praying for a Dread Saurian, but we will see. So, here we go, and let's have a little look at the challenger here, Stormrunner, and his forces of the undead. We have the ever loyal, ever vigilant, and ever picked zombies. Looks like we have 3 units of those guys in the front line here. Just going to be used to soak up damage and that initial charge before, allowing other units to saturate on top of them to try and do some decent damage. As expected, we do have 3 units of Graveguard. Really good at dealing with Saurus Warriors. Of course, can outdo Skinks as well. And not too bad up against the big, nasty dinos. Although this is the standard version, looks like, not the Great Weapon variety. We have a couple of Fellbats up in the sky. We have some big beasties. So we do have a Strigor Vampire Lord. What is this? I've seen this guy once or twice, but not in a long time. Looks like he is floating all around here. And he's going to be rolling dirty with his Terrorgeist homie up in the sky. So certainly trying to win that aerial fight. He's coming in with some awesome abilities here. Ghoul King, that just sounds cool. Gets a replenishment and buff to leadership. He also gets plus 50% armor piercing. Going to be helping him take down the big dinosaurs. Power Stone, Command of the Unliving, Invocation of Heck, Spirit Leech, all that good stuff. Really cool pick here. Coming in as well with a Vargulf and some Crypt Horrors. Crypt Horrors, one of those units you kind of expect in this matchup. Looks like we have a Corpse Cart to round out the build. Really fun build indeed. What do we have by Chosen One? We have the dreaded box here. Invented initially by the Dowie, but my god, the glory of the Dread Saurian here. We do have a regular Dread Saurian. Unfortunately, no Shredder of Lustria, but still a big beastie. Going to be tough to take down. He's going to be rolling with some Temple Guard, cohort of Sotek, and another unit of Temple Guard in a very elite and tanky front line. We have the Star Chamber Guardians in the back here, looking absolutely glorious. And these are one of my favourite units thematically, up there with the Regiment Renowned of Wild Riders, with their ethereal glowing halberds and just very cool attack animations overall. I love the darkened skulls as well on top of their head. Looks like we do have a Bastiladon Solar Engine as well, not a bad pick. We have a Skink Chief here, just down on the ground, probably naked, I assume. He is indeed. Just going to be sitting on targets, trying to do constant damage. And a Slan Mage Priest of Life coming in with Earthblood, Regrowth, all in his nice little Lovecraftian abilities. And it looks like it's that Awakening Wood as well. It is indeed going to be doing some pretty decent burst damage to those Graveguard if they get a little bit too close. Skink cohorts as well. And 1 unit of Chameleon Skinks. So it is a death box here, but with a Dread Saurian, so a nice little twist on it there. Dread Saurian going to be able to duel a lot of these units, but going to have to work as a little bit of a bodyguard for that poor Slan here. These Terror guys can certainly do a lot of snipe work. They can shriek down on top of the Temple Guard as well. So it's going to be interesting. Looks like the Bastiladon Solar Engine is lining up its first shots here, perhaps. Ironman, a little bit too distant away. We do have the Chameleon Skinks pushing forwards for now. We're interested to see what these guys actually do. There's quite a big buffer, obviously, between them and kind of the units they really want to get on. They really want to be poisoning down these Crypt Horrors and so forth, but instead they're going to be shooting into zombies, which is just a real kind of waste of darts. I mean, what's a dart realistically going to do up against a zombie? You can poison them, but, they're undead. I don't think they mind too much. Looks like in the back lines we do have the Dire Pack and some Dire Wolves as well, just trying to hunt down units. I would have actually been interested to see an Ancient Salamander in this matchup up against Graveguard. I think can do some decent work. So Chameleon Skinks have been caught, unfortunately, by Fellbats. They did initially quite a nice little volley to those guys. They need to be falling back and avoiding these guys as much as possible. Looks like the Doombox is just chilling for now. We do have the Bastiladon Solar Engine moving up and is starting to fire here. Assume it's going to be going after the Vargulf. Oh, nope, it's actually trying to take down some of the Graveguard, doing minimal damage there. Looks like it was a little bit of a swing and a miss. Of course, the Vargulf does have regeneration, so his fire damage on the Bastiladon will certainly pay dividends. We do have Fellbats hunting down these poor Chameleon Skinks. They are trying to flee for their lives. Looks like a shot does come and do some really decent work on the Vargulf. And these poor Chameleon Skinks, I don't think they can get away with this. And I suppose they've almost traded with a unit of Fellbats. That's really not very cost effective, unfortunately, for the poor Chameleon Skinks, who are now terrified and getting pushed back. Dread Saurian walking in amongst all these bats here, trying to munch a few of them down. Probably quite hard for the big boys to actually get to grips with a small little flying bat. And that Solar Engine really needs to go back to the firing range, getting a bit more target practice. He's been doing a lot of swinging and missing and so forth. Dread Saurian probably needs to fall back to the box as well, although the box may be coming to him. And Terror guys coming in here for the Slar Mage Priest. 2 death streaks on that guy, doing some really decent damage, and they're coming in for the snipe here. These Star Chamber Guardians need to get active instantly here. Dread Saurian is going to be flooding back as well, but you can see that Slar Mage Priest does counter with Shield of the Old Ones, giving really nice damage resistance, and unfortunately for these Terror guys, they are pinned in, but it looks like they just about have enough mass here to push their way through the Star Chamber Guardians, but not before they take a huge amount of damage here on the Strigil Vampire Lord. Down about a third health, so an even trade there with the Slar Mage Priest. Although it looks like he's actually struggling now to outpace the Dread Saurian. If he gets 1 or 2 more big hits in the back, this Vampire Lord, though, does react here with an Invocation up in their heck. But at least it did kind of break the formation, at least for a second there. Temple Guard obviously going to mow down zombies relatively quickly. The Vargulf being used in the front line to help pull down the cohort of Sotek. That Bastiladon with Solar Engine constantly trying to hit those nasty flying targets. And now that the Dread Saurian and the Star Chamber Guards have been pulled away from the main combat, the poor Slar Mage Priest being hunted down by the Terror guys. Vargulf coming in here as well. He's really going for that slam booty. Looks like a fat regrowth though, and an Aura of Quetzal as well. Going to be helping keep him active as the Dread Saurian and Star Chamber Guardians do start to flood in. And this could actually seal the fate of the Vampire Counts here if this poor Vampire Lord cannot escape this combat. He's taking an absolute pound in here. Slar Mage Priest, not too bad. He's managed to skirt his boot across the Star Chamber Guardians, who are the most loyal retainers possible. And of course, there's a full health Dread Saurian here beating down these Vampire Lords where they can. So we have an Earthblood as well, but a lot of magic is being used up, just keeping the Slar Mage Priest alive. In the distance, we have Chameleon Skinks doing a decent job attacking the Dire Pack here. They need to be a little careful. If Stormrunner does notice this, that Dire Pack will eat up those Chameleon Skinks very, very effectively. These Temple Guard a little bit over-isolated on this flank. They're just fighting zombies, and Graveguard getting pinned in. They need to be over here protecting the, the big, expensive kind of units in this army. 2 more Death Streaks coming, though, down on that Slar Mage Priest, doing some really decent work. We can see the shots coming up from Dread Saurian, and that Mage Priest, again, is slightly isolated. No, it looks like they're going to come down and try and nuke the Skink cohort. Not a bad shout at all, but the Bastiladon, of course, the longer the game goes on, it's going to do that consistent build-up damage on top of these guys here. In the front line, it looks like we do have an Awakening Woods coming down on top of the Corpse Cart and so forth. Graveguard taking a little bit of damage as well. Oh, it's Blood Statue of Spite coming down. Cohort of Sotek going down to the last man. 67 kills isn't too bad up against Graveguard, of course. Dread Saurian has to kind of be everywhere at once now, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it looks like the Strigil Vampire Lord is very low health-wise, down to 600 here. He is healing, though, and regenerating. That Solar Engine really starting to pay dividends here, doing some huge damage work. We'll see if the next shot manages to hit. Dread Saurian once again coming back to protect the Slar Mage Priest, who's very wisely sticking near the Star Chamber Guardians, but a ballsy play with the Terror guys coming in does unfortunately get pushed away by the Dread Saurian, and another huge shot coming into the Vampire Lord here. He does have Ghoul King active, and a big old Shriek does come in trying to nuke down that Slar Mage Priest, but he's just such a thick boy, managing to be protected here. Dread Saurian trying his best to protect him, however. Temple Guard did clear up those troops on the left-hand flank, which you'd expect, starting to come back into the main engagement here and protect the Slar Mage Priest, who does have a Spirit Leech on him, down to 1,600 health, and another Death Streak coming as well, but it looks like artfully dodged here by Chosen One and this thick boy. Doing not too bad overall. Dread Saurian is still full health as well, but the one worry with him is his leadership if the Slar Mage Priest does die. Looks like Vargulf as well coming in for a attack here. 1,200 health. In comes the Terror guys as well, swooping around to the other flank. Really nice play there by Stormrunner, trying to pin this guy in. Shield of the Old Ones is popped, however. Slar Mage Priest down to just 600 health. It looks like he does have a regrowth on him, trying to keep him active. Dread Saurian trying his best to protect, and a big banishment going down, tearing up some of the Graveguard in the front line, but also doing some damage to the Star Chamber Guardians. They're probably used to such things, protecting the Slans all the time. Up to 1,000 health now with another regrowth for Slan, and down goes the Vampire Lord here, slowly dragged down by consistent fire from the good old Gary over here, the Bastiladon with Solar Engine, and with that I think the game is past the Vampire counts here. Dread Saurian pulling apart that Terror guys, limb from limb with that glorious dino mouth of his, tearing it apart there. Terror guys down now. Army loss is set in, and that is going to be a brutal game there to the Lizardmen, but very, very close. That Slar Mage Priest just wouldn't go down, and the constant, pressure trying to drag that guy down did allow the Dread Saurian basically to roam freely and just constantly do that huge damage, going up to Silver Chevron here. Real kind of, traditional way of playing the Lizardmen here and tearing apart Vampire counts. Worked very effectively. Slar Mage Priest up to 100 kills with some really nice banishments, but the MVPs here, probably actually the Star Chamber Guardians. doing that consistent damage and protection to the hero, and then the Dread Saurian chunking his way through those big beasties with the help of Gary. But really nice effort there by Stormlight, man of the people, coming in with the wild vampire counts there, going, holding his fate up to the gods of the great old Wheel of Doom, and certainly put on a good show regardless, getting some really nice kills there on the dire pack, hunting down troops where he could. Oh well, please no more vampire counts, GG. Great game indeed. So up next we do have Zymeric, so if you'd like to join the lobby, I'll select the map. River Maxon seems like a good one to go to, and I will update the scoreboard. Password is 123 by the way if you are joining in. And let's go to the scoreboard. Chose one up to 2. So can anyone topple the king? Let's change the name here. Zymeric. Hopefully that is spelt all correctly. Now, Chosen One has only won as king. He obviously won the first game as well, so it's still going to be pick 1, ban 2. But if he wins this one, it will go down to a pick 1, ban 1, which makes this, of course, much tougher. Well, looks like I've got a load of messages on Discord, but hopefully it's all good. Looks like we are. Okay. So just wait on Zymeric to join now. See if I have him on my friends list. Looks like we do. Pop him a little invite. So how did you guys think about that? That was pretty insane. Just coming back to chat now, guys. So I'll see what I missed. The beacons are lit. The beacons are lit. Tim demanding a Rohirrim build here. Should be pretty good fun. Vampire Scouts are going to regret their lack of Mortis engine. Then again, Dread Saurian would delete that in 4 swings. I actually quite like the Dread Saurian pick there. The Counts do have a few tools which can bring it down and do some really effective damage, but the main problem with the Dread Saurian is it's so big, so many units get to attack it in one go, and especially missile fire is really susceptible to. But still pretty good. Mind if sometime I send you some stuff for feedback? I'm not sure if it talks to me, part Matt, but if so, yes, feel free, man. Always do it. Let's see. So I'm trying to scroll through chat because I've got some messages here. You've thrown half the clan at me today. For the clan. For the clan. Wahaha. One duck has to do it. But if we throw enough ducks at Chosen One, eventually he will be dragged down. Zymeric's also a DBD clan member. And, how many more DBD members do we have? We have Constant Rome up next. Okay, so Darth Pendragon may round out as well. But of course, if you do want to join these events, feel free to join my Discord. I'll announce them on there, and it is normally a first come, first serve. So the king to pick and ban 2. He has only one as king, so still 2 ban. Cool. So wait for them to pick. I'll chat with you guys. If you have any questions, now is the perfect time to ask them as we chill out here in between games. As I zoom through. What's up, Scourge of the West? Nice to see you, my dude. Be great to get you involved in one of these sometime soon as well. Should really have focused that laser dino on the Vargolf. It does some pretty decent damage, of course, because the Vargolf has that regeneration, so the fire damage really does pay huge work there. But at the same time, that constant damage on the Vampire Lord there eventually allowed to, drag him down, allow the Dread Saurian to do his thing as well, and kind of force those Terrorgeists to constantly be coming into engagements. They didn't really want to be in, they wanted to hop on top of that Slarm, but they entered to, get forced down onto the ground and fight amongst Temple Guard, Dread Saurians and so forth. Not where they realistically wanted to be, but they couldn't stay in the air because of the problem with the Bastildon. Did Crypt Horrors just die to some red-crested skinks? Crypt Horrors can work very well. I'm not sure actually what dragged them down, but they probably got tangled with some Temple Guard as well. Double Vargolf should do good at taking down Dino Boys. Double Vargolf can work very effectively, but at the same time, if someone's brought like Salamanders or the Umbral Tide, those Vargolfs get deleted so quickly. But there's answers and kind of pros and cons to so many different builds in this matchup. More Duck Guard. We demand the Royal Duck Guard here. We will see. But I hope you guys are having a good time anyway. Hope you're all staying safe as well. Don't know what it's like in other countries at the moment with this this virus. Unfortunately, we are on lockdown down here in the UK. I am technically classed as an essential worker though, so my life's not changed too much. I still go into work and everything. So, Chosen One is going Dark Elves and banning the Wood Elves and the Tomb Kings. Looks like Zymerics is going to be going Chaos. So we have an Edgelord versus the Edge Boy matchup here. Should be some good fun. Should be some good fun indeed. Dark Elves have a ton of armor-piercing options as well, so it makes them quite good at taking down Chaos in my opinion. They're quite good at dealing with the big beasties as well, but Chaos, the ever-stalwart kind of mid-tier faction in my opinion, they're just kind of all-round good. I wouldn't say necessarily fantastic, but they're a big old walking sledgehammer and they will crunch into any army that looks at them slightly funny. So it should be some good fun. We're going to be on River and Maxon as well, one of my favourite multiplayer maps. And there's certainly some sneaky stabbings you can do on such a map. Where are the Wood Elves? I demand Wood Elves. I would love some Wood Elves. So have a quick sip from my flask here, so sorry for the squeakiness here. Let's do undo the lid. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And getting me to that 400 sub mark, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will talk to you guys about a little project I'm trying to work on as well, which I will hopefully have ready in time, or like the reveal at least ready, by the 500 sub mark. That is the idea. It's going to be like a special little Warhammer project for you guys, basically. Should be some good fun. I'll talk about that in a little bit if I do remember between games. But it looks like Chosen One's ready, so I won't speak about it just yet. Edgelord versus the Kinky Boys, indeed. It's going to be fun, though. Both good factions. We have the OG Chaos here from Total War Warhammer 1 up against the new boys, the new kids on the block, the Dark Elves. Looks like we have some good luck, so I think we're all ready to go. I'm just having a little sip of water, so my voice has gone a little bit crackly there. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Who is your money on? Do we have any Zymerics fans in the chat, or is everyone rooting for the king here? Chosen One, or will the usurper finally be able to claim vengeance for all the wrongs that have been done to the subjects of Chosen One so far? Better Vaseline up those scantily clad Dark Elf ladies for the imminent gank. I think this is in the Druchi's favour. They've certainly got a good set of tools. The Druchi up against pretty much any faction. Them and Vampirates are probably the two best factions in the game in my opinion. I don't really play either of them, but just from what I've gathered from watching tournaments, playing up against players, and having some good discussions as well with some very competitive players, those two I think are probably definitely top tier. Definitely top tier. They just have so many good tools. I can't really see the Dark Elves ever going out of fashion as well, even as we move into Total Warhammer 3 and more DLCs and so forth. They just have tools to counter any type of army that they really can do some decent work. So let's have a little look at Zymerics and the Forces of Chaos. The Usurper is riding dirty here. A Chaos Lord up on top of the Chaos Dragon. What a pick here. I basically never get to see this model, so this is actually really cool here. It's going to be coming in with Stand or Die, Deadly Onslaught, Pendant of Slanesh. We also have Filth Mace as well, so cool tools I don't often get to see. He's going to be rolling dirty here, a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows up in the sky, coming with Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma and Enfeebling Foe, so a nice pick there. For his main battle line, we do have Chaos Marauders mixed in with some Chaos Warriors. We also have the Mirror Guard and more Marauders and more Warriors. So quite a nice tightly packed formation here. Mirror Guard looking ever glorious in their shining armour here. In the front lines, we do have one unit of Chaos horses here with lances, should do some decent cycle charging work, and a nice skirmish contingent as well. Marauder horsemen with throwing axes and some Marauder horse masters, looks like 2 of the horse masters, and a couple of Chaos Warhounds with poison who are going to be very busy hunting down 3 units of Dark Riders and trying to protect these guys at the same time. Looks like that is it for the majority of the forces. Anything I missed here hidden in the trees? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going for that tightly, quite relatively elite formation and going all the money spent on the big dragon, of course. So for the force of the Dark Elves and the current king, Chosen One, desperately trying to hold onto his crown. We do have 3 Dark Riders with the repeater crossbows in the front line. These guys, such a good pick. One of the staples in most Dark Elf armies. Fast moving AP is always a yes. We do have Marathi here on top of her little Pegasus. Actually going to be relatively okay at dueling that Chaos Lord, but she could get sniped out by a combination of the Lord and the Sorcerer. Coming in with Wand of Kadon, Soul Stealer, and Melkoff's Mystifying Miasma herself. She does have some nice anti-large though, but overall she will probably lose to the Chaos Lord there. We do have some Dread Spears as well in a defensive box formation. We have some Cold War Knights hiding in the trees and more Spears in the back line. We do have one unit of Hagenef Executioners here as well. Going to be, adding a little bit more punch to the rather weak and kind of squishy Dark Elf forces. I mean, the Dread Spears will hold for a long time, but they're not going to do too much damage, and they are going to be centered around protecting the Reaper Boltthrower. Looks like we have 2 units of the Hagenef Executioners, actually, and the Chill of Sontar, the chillest of all Hydras here, going to be spitting some nice ice. It has that Frostbite, Terror, Regeneration. It was originally considered a bit of a meme, but I think it's now widely considered in the community to actually be a relatively decent unit. That Regeneration really helps it, come into its element in the late game here. So both units of skirmishers going to be falling back before Chosen One once again swoops in. We're going to start trading shots here, it looks like, with the Marauder Horsemasters, trying to do some early damage. Looks like they get some really nice damage, coming at half health down on those Horsemasters already. Not taking too much in return, using their added speed here to escape. And the Boltthrower has also started to fling in a few shots. Marathi has to be very careful here. She doesn't want to get any double engagement with these guys, but at the same time, she can kind of nip in there, hack at their heels with her halberd before fleeing once more. Looks like the Boltthrower has switched targets to go over to that Chaos Lord there. Dark Rise as well, continuing to skirmish here rather effectively up against the Horsemasters, trying to dart in there, fire a few shots before escaping from those throwing axes. Chaos Warhounds trying to push these guys back as well, which isn't a bad shout, force them back behind enemy lines, as the rest of the Chaos Forces do slowly come out from the trees here and start to move forward. A couple of nice retaliating axe throws now, doing some decent damage to the Dark Riders, but overall the Chaos certainly taking the brunt of the skirmish force so far. Chill of Sontar going a little bit far forward here, pushing his way out of the safety of the box here. But the Reaper Boltthrower up to 2 kills, but consistently now firing into that Chaos Lord, who is going to be escaping as far back as possible, just to keep him nice and healthy. Looks like good luck, have fun in the chat. Always good to see good sportsmanship. That is how you stick around in the tournament scene in general, get invited back to stuff, and allowed to compete in the future. So remember, my main reason that I've been called this, my tournament's death before dishonor, my clan death before dishonor, is that you would rather, die, i.e. lose, before cheating and kind of being dishonorable and being an arse and all that type of stuff. So that's how we try and run most of our events. So, nice crossbow fire coming to Northern Horseman. Boltthrower as well doing some decent work. Marathi hunting these guys down, but she is now a little bit pinned. If she gets caught on the floor here, if these Poison Warhounds can catch her, poison her and slow her down, the Dragon and the Sorcerer can certainly come in and do some decent work. We do have the Cold War Knights retaliating quite quickly here, coming in here, and a big breath attack as well, allowing Marathi to escape. Really fantastic play there by Chosen One. He's now bunched up all these troops for a fat Soul Sealer that is going to be coming in, and boom, it even catches the Chaos Lord as well. Fantastic play there by Chosen One, just about escaping a very dangerous situation and getting some great, fantastic value to boot. Chaos Lord still on the hunt here for Marathi, but he's now a little bit overextended himself, taking a lot of damage, and Marathi probably is okay to take this fight, at least for a limited amount of time. Pinning him in place, Boltthrower coming in, Repeater crossbows coming in as well. He's taking an absolute pounding. Of course, there is no healing for the forces of Chaos either. Early skirmish game certainly going in the favour of the Dark Elves, I think, so far. There's some nice cycle charging by Cold War Knights in the front line, just trying to pound down the Chaos Marauders before falling back to the safety. But they need to make sure they don't get a rampage at all. And it looks like we do have a nasty spell as well coming in on the Mirror Guard from Marathi. Probably her wand's coming down to beam these guys, doing some pretty okay damage there. Nothing too spectacular, but nothing too terrible either. The Chill of Sontar are probably going to hop over and hop on those guys as soon as possible. Dark Riders have fallen back to the relative safety of the back line here, and Cold War Knights being used to punish some Warhounds who tried sneaking through the lines here. Probably a better route would have been to loop up around the side here and come into the back line that way. Dread Spears, though, also being used defensively. Caught the Chaos Warhounds, who are being forced back now. And the Dark Elves looking very dominant here. We do have Hagenef Executioners up against Mirror God in a very elite match-off. Hagenef Executioners, though, coming in with some fantastic AP values. Going to be tearing these guys down. They hold their swords high above them in a very cool kind of style, I suppose. Dragging down the Mirror Guard where possible. So, looks like Dark Riders getting some decent shots in as well, consistently putting that damage on the Chaos Lord, who's really taken a bit of a pound in here. Looks like Marathi going to be taking the relative safety of the ground here, so she can get a bit of protection from the Chill of Sontar, as the Chaos Lord does follow her down in here, which is very, very risky with all these elite troops around, including the Chill of Sontar. Chaos Lord can't really find a home, which is a bit of a problem here. He can probably pop into the back line now, but once again, even if he manages to shut down 1 or 2 units of Dark Riders, the other ones are merely going to be doing crossfire, taking some huge damage. For now, though, it looks like they are focus firing down at that poor Chaos Sorcerer, who is being dragged down now. Marathi can't quite get up into the air quick enough to chase her down, but Chill of Sontar overextending a little bit, but it's completely fine, dragging and scaring off that Sorceress. Looks like the Chaos Lord being used quite effectively to juke as many shots as possible, but you can't do that all game. It just takes too much micro. Forces of Chaos are starting to crumble. Finally, the Warhounds get in the back line, but they're a little bit too late. GG's though, very well played. Americ's put up a good fight there. I believe he is relatively new to the tournament scene, and I think he made his debut on my channel not too long ago as well. So very good showing regardless, but excellent play by Chosen One. It all came down to that one engagement, managing to just about bait in the Dark Elves. Not sure if it was a deliberate bait or if he just took, a bad situation and flipped it on its head, which is a sign of a really good player when you're not quite sure if they deliberately meant something or it kind of worked out that way. But Marathi managed to just about escape all the kind of hordes of skirmishers coming in after her and dropping a big fat soul seer, doing massive damage to them, getting them off the field early on and doing some pretty decent damage to the Chaos Lord, dragging them in, and then he took huge Overwatch fire from those repeater crossbows. But still, very good game indeed. GG. I played this one really well. You did indeed, Chosen One. Very, very good. That was a stop now, man. It was good fun. It was good fun. It can happen, trust me. Chosen One is an absolute beast of a player. He's in fact the current champion of Death Before Dishonor as well, winning Season 2. And he will be in the Season 3 finals, which hopefully, fingers crossed, should be taking place tomorrow at 7:30 PM BST. So British Summertime. That's going to be featuring Chosen One, A-Move Hacker, King of the Dead, and Flying Taco, which is a very scary batch of players indeed. Anyway, up next we do have Consul of Rome, so if you'd like to hop in, buddy, if you are still in chat. And we'll get going. Let's see, is he active? Oh, looks like he has managed to pop in already. People doing a really nice turnaround here, which is always good to see. Hey, bro. One pick, one ban now. So let's update the scoreboard. So, Chosen One on a warpath here. 3 wins back-to-back. Can anyone stop our Tyrant King here? Consul of Rome. Can the might of Rome be brought to bear here upon the Chosen One? Or will the Chosen One reign victorious? What's up? Nice to see. While these guys aside, I can chill out with you boys. Aristodamos, how's it going, man? Nice to see you around. Hope you're doing all good on this fine day. Let's have a little look through chat. What did I miss? Nobody can take down Chosen One. No, it's because he is indeed the Chosen One. I trained him well, the Sith Lord, indeed. You thought Palpatine got deleted and destroyed, but in fact this was his plan all along, to make you guys think that he lost the first game, but instead he is the puppet master behind the scenes. Best factions: Skaven, Tomb Kings, Coast Counts. Undead, very, very powerful indeed. Anyone who has decent amount of summons can do certain good work. I'm starting to take a break from the game. No, Aristo, we need you. University there. Ah, no, that makes sense. Ragnar, son. Welcome, welcome. War indeed. Love the name. I love the name indeed. And thank you, Aristo, for saying congratulations on 400 subs. It's been good fun. Oh, let's see what these guys are saying. Having a pretty good streak there. Chosen nice games. No rats today. Sorry, no! We're not getting the vile forces of Skaven. Lizardmen. Up against... Oh, it looks like he's banned Dowie. Consul Rome saying crap. Surely would have gone for them. That is unfortunate. The Dowey can do decent work up against Lizardmen, but much like the Lizardman Vampire Council kind of matchup, I feel it still favours, one faction or the other, in this case the Dowey, but Lizardmen certainly have a ton of cheap armour-piercing tools, ray-crested skinks, mass flying troops, cheap and cheerful beasties as well, which can overrun the forces of the Dowey quite effectively. So, it still is, can be about 60-40, but Dowey certainly have a pretty good matchup. This is the map we are playing on, Pillar of Bone. Manticore is just the best for Chaos, methinks. Manticore is very good. It should be weak like the Dragon. Star Dragon can be very powerful, but it's a little bit glass cannon. Again, it has the problem of being very large, so lots of troops can attack it in one go. And a little bit squishy as well. The amount of time I've got my dragons chucked into an engagement I thought was going to go all good, and then they just get dragged down and killed. It's very unfortunate. So, Consul of Rome is going for the High Elves. Now, Consul of Rome is a very good defensive player. So, a lot of new players try and play defensive, and they're very passive. They're not very active. If you watch Consul of Rome play, he's a very active defensive player, reacts to the opponent's build, is happy to change his formation around and get aggressive when he needs to, and has really good formation play indeed. So, I think a lot of people get that mixed up. They think people who play defensive aren't, particularly good, but being a good defensive player is incredibly hard. So for new players, I actually recommend attacking as much as possible. Allows you to pick and choose engagements before kind of learning how to micro defensive formation properly. Looks like I've got a lot of guys watching. Welcome, welcome. If this is your first time finding my channel, I do all types of Total War Warhammer content. We run weekly King of the Hills, tournaments, battle replays. You can send replays to me and I'll cast them on the channel, and all that good fun stuff. We're also branching out to a few other games as well. We recently completed a Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice playthrough, which was really good fun, and we'll soon be picking up another game as well, no doubt. So yeah, feel free to stick around, hit that like button and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if you want to get involved in future events or just chill out and chat with me, send me replays and so forth, I do have a Discord. You can find the link down in the description down below. There should be some good fun. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to stop Chosen One, guys. He's an absolute beast today, and as I said earlier on, he's honestly one of my dark horses for a lot of tournament events that are coming up and so forth. He's just a mighty beast indeed. We do have Consul of Rome up next to try and slow him down, then Davin AQ. Hopefully I'm saying your name correct, by the way. Is it Davina? Davina Q? First time I believe he's played on the channel, but he is representing RTK. And then we have Darth Pendragon as well, wrapping the stream up. So it looks like these guys both just picking the army. Looks like Consul Rome is ready indeed. Just waiting on the mighty Chosen One now. But of course, us simple peasants must wait for the king. It is only right. And Pillar of Bone, quite an open map overall. Every time I play this map, I remember a game me and Poison Ducky had on here just because it went on for so long. It was Wood Elves versus Vampire Counts, and I went for a tree blob build, and my god was it a long game. Super fun, and an absolute grind, and the entire battle took place right here in this small patch of trees, ignoring the gigantic map that can unfold around you. But it should be some good fun. The High Elves certainly going to have a lot of room here to open up some defensive formations. I certainly see Consul Rome bringing some bolt throws here and some Sisters of Avalon, maybe even with Teclis, trying that net play and seeing if he can drag them down. Although a cheeky Nar pick here might not do too bad. Nar giving bonus as well to Sisters of Avalon, maybe with the hero character as well, giving all those boosts. The Handmaiden could be some good fun, but we will see. We'll just ready up for these guys. Good start. And I can just come out and chill with all you. Make sure the streams are working on my phone. Unfortunately, our Wi-Fi can be a little bit sketchy. Yeah, so it looks like my my chat kind of pauses on my phone, so I have to refresh. So I've missed an absolute ton. I'm really sorry. What did I miss? Optimus Pine! Welcome, dude. Hope you're all good. You want to leave? Okay by me. I love it. That was bad. I was actually so bad I did not even laugh. That was so bad that I did laugh. That was fantastic. But good to see you back, man. Borg, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing all good today, man. You beat Master Corner Camper Trees. Cool. It looks like we are loaded in here. And we'll get going. So, Pillar of Bone, very open map, and this nice big open terrain here where you often see a lot of the fighting take place. But there are some hills and some beautiful trees here which bring back such good memories. Poison Ducky, I hope you witnessed these trees and you memorised every single aspect of them, and I hope they haunt your dreams. That was a very sad, tragic day, actually. Me and Poison Ducky came up against each other in the ECL in the first round, up against each other, which is a sad day for duck kind indeed. With some nice rituals going on here as well around a fire. I have no idea who sets these fires up. They seem to desert the area very quickly after they have. Perhaps there's some form of magic which keeps them active. So we have both players loading in. Looks like the bar has popped up, so we should be getting underway in just a second. And in come the forces of the usurper here, Consul of Rome, trying his best here to bring order to his new republic and tear down the evil forces of the king here. So for the front line, we've got cheap and cheerful spearmen. Looks like we have the Regiment Renowned version as well. Just going to be holding the line, trying to soak up as much damage as possible, while the rest of his army really does the decent amount of work. We do have a unit of Treekin as well. Of course, he has gone for Avalon here, so he can bring these guys, Treemen and Dryads. Really cool colour scheme on them. You don't get to see them enough, unfortunately, but quite a nice roadblock here to protect that back line. We have white lines of Chase mixing with some Swordmasters of Hoeth as well to have some much needed AP. Just the one unit of Sister Avalon. So, you know, quite easy to protect simple one unit, but it still has a decent amount of damage output. We have Spearmen in the back lines, and then Silver Helms. Oh no, Dragon Princes. So we do have one unit of Dragon Princes here. I swear there was two there. Saying, here we go. We have one unit of Silver Helms, one unit of Dragon Princes. For the Lord, we have Alariel the Radiant coming in with all her healing and Shield of Thorns. Healing's going to be pretty good here on the Tree Man. What? What year is this? Look at this glorious... this colour scheme is so cool. Looks like he's in a pinky autumn colour here. So we do have a Tree Man going to be rolling dirty with his Treekin brethren. Going to be healed up by Alariel the Radiant there. Really cool build overall. Going to be used as a roadblock to try and protect those sisters of Avalon. Now, for the forces of the Lizardmen here, we have a bit of a Rohirrim build, which is beautiful to see. Of course, do have skink cohorts in the front line mixed with red-crested skinks. Legion of Shaquar as well, with Lord Mazdamundi coming in with Ruination of the City, Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence Nets, all the good standard stuff. Cohort of Sotek and more skinks in the front line. But then we have some hardcore Cold One Spear Riders in the back lines here. 2 units with spears and 1 regular unit. And in the distance we have more Cold One Spear Riders and 1 more regular unit as well. So Gondor has called for aid up against the vile forces of the High Elves, and the Lizardmen shall answer as the hordes of Cold Ones spew forth here. Going to be backed up by some skink cohorts, which is a good way to play, you know, heavy cav engagements. There's a lot of spearmen available here for the High Elves. However, I do actually find that High Elves really do struggle to deal with large entities because spearmen and Phoenix Guard struggle to pin them in and keep them down for long times. We do have Sister Avalon starting to unleash some shells here into the cohort of Sotek. Those magic plasma shots coming in. Can we do some decent work? Cohort of Sotek not yet popped, refused to die. I'm just going to be marching forward. Lord Mazdamundi's got to be very careful here. Sister Avalon can certainly put a hurting on him. And Dragon Princes are coming in with a bit of a counter strike here. Is that Ruination of City's going down a nice early one here? Looks like it does. It catches in 3 very weird shapes here. It doesn't kind of burst out as it normally does. Just about catches some of the spearmen, but not doing too much damage. And Lord Mazdamundi starting to take a absolute battering here from Sister Avalon, but they have been moved forwards here, which even though this banishment's not doing a huge amount of damage, it did take them offline for a little while, allowing the Legion of Shaquar to pop forwards, and they're now going to be buffing Lord Mazdamundi. It looks like we do have a shield of the old ones coming down here, protecting the skink cohort, allowing them to deal pretty decent damage here, as Cold One Spear Riders do start to pound down the Swordmaster who have a nice little engagement for them. And in the far side, we have a nice overlapping work here with Spear Riders popping in, trying to drag down the Treekin, but they're being used very effectively here, saturated with some Spearmen, forcing these guys off wide. Lara forcing her way over as well, but the front line, White Lines of Chase being absolutely crap kicked out of them here by Cohort of Sotek, a really good unit and almost always using most Lizardman builds, but in come the Treekin, going to start pounding those poor little skinks down to death. Treeman holding the line here, but he's surrounded by the Legion of Shaquar, not really where he wants to be. But he's still up to 6 kills here, doing decent work. Lord Mazdamundi running over these Swordmasters here with the big boy Slack himself, doing some really fantastic work. Dragon Princes with an Earthblood pops them are going to delete these Cold One Spear Riders. In fact, these are just the regular version, so even better by these Dragon Princes with their glorious green colour scheme here, going to drag these guys down relatively effectively. Big Star of Avalon does come down in the back line. Looks like we had a Feral Manticore summon here, trying to drag down Alariel the Radiant. So we did have a sneaky Skink Priest of Beasts, who I did not spot, doing some huge damage to Alariel, but a big Old Star of Avalon keeping her topped up, fighting by her loyal Silver Helms here as well. But with Lord Mazdamundi in there, they are going to be getting dragged down, and Lario is forced to leave the Star of Avalon range as well. Caravan's Court still on the hunt here. They will be going down fairly shortly, just through time. And Spearman as well. Nice counter punch here with the Cold One Spear Eyes, constantly doing that cycle charge and slowly breaking through the high elf lines. Cohort of Sotek, 55 kills, done a really good job as well. And I think the Lizardmen probably have this in the bag. Bounce power very slightly now heading in their favour. So we still have Dragon Princes fighting hard here, but they're actually taking a little bit of work here from the Cold One Spear Riders. Probably need to do a bit more effective cycle charging. We do have Swordmasters rallying as well to the cause, and a very healthy Treeman and Treekin. I'm not sure what they realistically have left here to drag down the mighty Mazdamundi, as a Sister Avalon, even with Shield of Thorns on them, can be decent melee combatants, but they're surrounded by Cav here, so they're getting beat down and pulled apart. Looks like we have some Cold One Spear Riders rallying over on the far side. Swordmasters trying to pinch in here and pin up these Cold One Riders up against the Dragon Princes, but very wisely, Chosen One going to use his added mobility here, drag away, these guys away from the main combat, and probably start hunting down Alara, you would assume. Treeman standing strong in his forest here by the Sions here? Sions? I hope that's how you say their name. And Alariel trying to make a desperate last stand. Slack terrifying some spearmen away and routing those forces. Silver Helms and Sister Avalon trying their best to pin him in, but he's still relatively healthy here. We have 7 brave Wildlands of Chase rally before thinking, you know what, it's not worth it. Let's vamoose our way out of here. The Ruination of Cities does do a little bit of work onto the Swordmaster with that last strike, but for some reason all the Ruinations, it's a randomly determined direction, have all gone in the same direction, which is pretty frustrating. I think it would have been better placed somewhere like here, where no matter where it goes, it's guaranteed going to hit some foes. And the High Elves are making a little bit of a rally here. A little bit of a rally. They're starting to hold pretty firm, but the Sisters of Avalon have unfortunately been forced off and certainly been chased down. But a lot of the High Elf forces are starting to rally here. Lord Mazdamundi being brought down here to deal with the Treekin, holding very effectively here. Treeman very healthy as well. And the Lizardmen are starting to look a little bit depleted here. I feel like the High Elves certainly making a decent comeback here. They still have a lot of healing as well with Alaria the Radiant. I believe she's only used one of her stars so far. And Spearmen as well have all rallied. Looks like the Skink Priest probably going to go over there and have a little bit of a word with those guys. Oh, he's hiding behind a tree here. Maybe moving back to the main engagement. So I think we still have one man to call someone left, which could be really key late game. Cold One Spear Eyes riding around the battlefield trying to hunt down troops, but the Sisters of Avalon here managed to escape relatively close to their own team here. If these guys can rally, there's still 24 of them. That's a huge amount of damage output. Where actually is their forces? So it looks like there's only one Sister here. Sometimes they do dart away in different directions, unfortunately. It looks like the Treekin as well, completely surrounded here, are slowly going to get dragged down, but Spearman trying to saturate on top and do that consistent AP damage over the course of the battle. We'll do some decent work on Lord Mazdamundi, but he is so healthy now. He's thick. He's 5,300 health strong. Those poor Treekin are unfortunately getting dragged down. Apotheosis being hopped onto the Cold One Spear Riders as well, trying to keep those guys in the game as long as possible. The High Elves reforming their lines over here, and they have managed to rally the Sister Avalon with 24 models. That could be really key, because simply 1 or 2 volleys would tear apart, you know, broken units like Cold One Riders like this, and really force them off the battlefield. As you see, some shots come in, does drag down one of those poor Cold Ones. See if any more do come in. A few shots did hit, down to just 600 health, and they're certainly starting to dart away. So reform the lines, as both forces here looks like trying to make best of a situation. I'd probably use the Dragon Prince just to chase down Skink cohorts quick while nothing else is really going on, just to get that consistent value. There's no way these Treekin are returning. In fact, it looks like the Treekin have in fact been completely just shattered by this point, and so have these Spearmen. So the 4 Lizardmen will once again line up very even here. Both forces, of course, have healing. There's a ton of Cav still left by Chosen One and a healthy Legion of Shaquar, but at the same time, they have less healing potential than Lariel the Radiant. I think we still have one man to call someone left, though, so it's going to be close, but in comes a big, fat Earthblood here, healing up all of these forces, the Sisters, the Dragon Princes. Very healthy Treeman. He's going to be tough to take down, honestly. Up to 28 kills as well. We have some rallying Skink cohort here, but yeah. Looks like Consul Roma has noticed this, and these Dragon Princes are going to come get a free meal here. Sisters have a decent amount of ammunition as well, so if there's nothing to shut them down, they could be a big threat. But at the same time, there's a ton of range firepower. Not range firepower, sorry, but the Cav potential coming in from the Lizardmen, who will be able to swarm and get into the back lines. Sister Avalon wasting a few shots into Skink cohorts, but at the same time, they have a decent amount of ammunition, and they know they're going to get swarmed, so they might as well fire while they can. Skin cohorts coming in as well, just trying to get a tiny bit of value before they are forced off the field. And nice shots now coming into Cold One Riders, starting to drag those guys down. Looks like just good luck, have fun in the chats there. And these are Cold One Riders, only 600 health, slowly getting dragged down here. Here we go, guys. In comes Lord Mazdamundi, who's going to be an absolute beast here. Sister Avalon are starting to pick on him a little bit, trying to tear him down where possible. If he has another banishment left, it might honestly be worth popping it on the sisters and force him off the field. Massive overload on this left-hand flank, as the right-hand flank slightly delayed here. In comes Mazdamundi, though, dumpstering those sword monsters however very quickly and forcing Alara the Radiant to run for the hills here. Looks like she has reached her healing cap as well. Lord Mazdamundi still doing relatively fine on health-wise. And in comes this massive delayed overload on the right-hand side. Cold One Riders are forcing their way through. Looks like a banishment is coming down, but Mazdamundi actually flings the sisters into safety for the most part here. Is hunting them down where he can. Dragon Princess doing an okay job here, but the Co-op Sotek are refusing to die here, so we still have 14 models in that consistent damage. Shield of the Old Ones goes down as well, and we still have the Cold One Spear Riders, who are okay health-wise up here on the hills, need to swoop down and start trying to pick some decent targets. Lord Mazdamundi does have a Harmonic Convergence Optimum up in his melee attack by 24 and his melee defense there. Should be able to go toe-to-toe with these guys for at least for a while, but Shield of Thorns is active, and the sisters, once again, really good play by Consuron, keeping these guys active. Going to be shooting in here, trying to do some decent damage to Mazdamundi, but I hear a late-game Feral Manticore summon. This Manticore literally just needs to drag its ass over here and pop on top of Alara the Radiant and force her back where possible. Dragon Princess trying their best to take down Mazdamundi. He's taking a ton of damage here, but we do have Cold One Riders who have forced back some Sword Masters, and it looks like the ones on the hills have decided to float down as well, hopping down on top of the sisters at Avalon, and it looks like even the Feral Manticore hopping on top of these guys, really trying to force them off as quickly as possible. We have an Earthblood coming down as big old Zlak goes toe-to-toe with the Tree Man here, but Earthblood keeping him active. It's going to be tough. The Tree Man is very, very tanky, but Lord Mazdamundi does punch like a truck. Alara the Radiant still nice and healthy here. Just skirting on the outside of the battlefield here. Looks like she's going to be swooping, trying to get some rare attacks on Lord Mazdamundi. And the Dragon Princess slowly being dragged down here. In fact, terrified and broken. But looks like the Spearmen may be able to save them from the Cold One Riders. If those guys can come back late game, that could be really good play. And a net comes down by Lord Mazdamundi. He was keeping that in his back pocket. Now he's isolated Alara the Radiant. She has no magic left on her, and she pops Star of Avalon, trying to keep the Tree Man fighting rather than saving herself, which isn't, the worst idea in the world. She's not going to be able to do too much damage to Mazdamundi in the long game. She is turning and fighting here, but she's taking a bit of a beating down to half health. That Tree Man, though, still pretty much, not quite full health, but 5,300. And he's managing to shatter some of the Cold One Spear Riders. Legion Shaquall, though, is a good answer for him. We do have Cold One Spear Riders fighting Spearmen, really not where they want to be. But again, Spearmen, not the greatest AP damage overall. And they are unfortunately forced off. And all those Spearmen should be able to help drag down the Tree Man here. Looks like Alariel did actually manage to escape here. I was looking, I thought she completely shattered there, but she did manage to escape with the big Zlakmeister himself. Skink Cohort's trying to force her away. Sister Avalon once again rally with 10 guys left here, not 10 ladies I should say, trying to get some decent shots into Lord Mazdamundi where possible. And a lot of the Cold Ones are being shattered off, and they're the best answer to the Tree Man here. So very tightly fought battle here. And unfortunately, sisters have been caught by Skink Cohorts here, who actually kind of just hanging out nearby, just admiring. Getting in there, slowly starting to drag down these poor ladies. And with every sister that goes, that's so much damage output gone. Looks like these guys are in fact now completely shattered off the field. Balance power slightly in favour of the High Elves here, perhaps due to the tankiness of the Tree Man. Nice apotheosis coming by Lord Mazdamundi though. It looks like everything has basically been shattered off for the Consul Rome here in the High Elves. Dragon Princes are actually rallying over here. Down though just to 5 moles. They're probably going to break if they ever do get into combat. Probably best to keep them out of the action for the most part for now. It's really going to come down to, can the Legion of Shaquall, with the help of Lord Mazdamundi, pull down this Tree Man? Now we know if he can snipe out Alariel the Radiant, then he might be able to break the Tree Man, but she's quite quick here on top of her mighty steed, and Zlak of course is a bit of a slow boy, so it's not about to hunt her down very effectively. Cold One Spear Riders though, they're going in for the kill. And they certainly have the tools to hunt her down, but she just about flees there, gets out of the way of them. Ooh, charge animation almost keeping them on par. He's being used very effectively, actually trying to push Alariel towards the corner of the map. But it looks like they're going to have to turn and engage some Dragon Princes. Coming in for a nice charge. Dragon Princes, of course, would normally be quite good in this matchup, but they're very beat up. Down to just 60 health here. These guys getting dragged from their steeds. If only they rode dragons as they once did in the annals of history. Unfortunately, reduced to horses, they were killed to the last man there. Managed to drag down 2 more Cold One riders, though, as they can. L'Oreal, unfortunately, taking a few shots in the back here. But 1,700 health. She's still going strong for now. Lizardmen fleeing from the mighty tree man for now. Skink Priest not going to be able to do too much. Both Manticore summons have been popped here. They can be used for cold-blooded and so forth to keep units fighting. We have some Skink cohorts raid on the edge of the battlefield as well. Is there anything left that can come back for the High Elves? We have units over here. Looks like those were Cold One riders regardless, and they've actually completely fled. So it is what you see is what you get here. It's close. I don't think the tree man's going to be able to hold. He has been isolated here by Lord Mazdamundi. Alaro probably needs to fight this. There is the worry, though, that she could be netted and stuck in combat. And a big, fat shield of the old one's giving really nice damage resistance. And the tree man is slowly going down here to that constant damage from the Legion. And, of course, the cycle charging coming in by Mazdamundi, who is just forcing away Alaro, keeping her honest, keeping her away from the combat. And this tree man down to 2,300 health. Balance power has started to swing in favour of the Lizardmen here. Don't know if Alaro has any healing left. A couple of regrowths or earthbloods could really help this tree man out. But you can see his healing cap now as he is dueling the mighty Mazdamundi. Looks like Cold One Spear Riders are being dragged over to force off Alaro, allowing Mazdamundi just to focus his attention on the tree man. And tree man has been pretty good here, been a good backbone to the Wood Elf, not Wood Elf, sorry, the High Elf forces here. But unfortunately, looks like he is going to get dragged down. Mazdamundi once again doing some nice cycle charging here. So the Legion Squad try and pin in the tree man where possible. And Cold One Spear Riders hunt down Alara the Raiden. But every time they force her away, he then circles around the tree man, slowly drags it down in the War of Attrition. And Alara is then forced to come back in and once again chased off. And you keep repeating, which is, you know, all good. Tree man slowly going down here. Leadership starts to waver down to just 900 health here. Slowly getting dragged down. He does force off some Cold One riders with his terrifying abilities here, but Leisure Squaw remaining loyal here to the mighty Lord Mazdamundi, who's now focusing down Alaro the Raiden, doing some pretty good damage to her as well. Big old roar in her face by Zlak brings her down to just 700 and like 400, 200. Yeah, she's been absolutely destroyed now. Down she goes, armor loss is set in, and the king stands firm. Can anyone bring him down? Can anyone bring him down? Very, very powerful indeed. Very, very good. So, Chosen One, 4 wins in a row, I believe it is now. Got a little bit speechless there. Played very good so far. Nice Rohan-esque build, coming with some skinks as well, which is a good way to do it. Mazdamundi certainly packing his punch with 80 kills. Those Manticore summons as well, putting constant pressure on. Really nice play by Constant Rome. 160 kills, getting some fantastic value from the Dragon Princess and the Tree Man, who was normally a little bit of a meme, but he did pretty good in this battle. And, you know, held the line for a long time and kept the game pretty close. But great game by both players. GG. Good luck with the next games. Good sportsmanship there shown by Consul of Rome. As we now have Davina Q up, or Davin AQ. I don't know how to say his name. I need to message him beforehand in the future. So we will play on Central Chaos Waste, I think. There we go. Nice fun map. And so we get him in there. Not sure if I have him as a friend yet, but hopefully if you are in chat, you can feel free to join. Looks like I don't have him out here. Password is 123. I'll send you a invite if you can't. Cool. Just going to quickly turn my lights on in my room. It's getting pretty dark in here. I'll come back and chill with you guys in chat. Here we are. Cool. It's a little bit better. Let's send him a message. Cool. Cool. I'll sort out the scoreboard. Chosen One up to 4 wins here, which is pretty damn impressive. A very good run indeed. Cool. There we go. Hey, here he is. Devin a Quack. I love the name. Love the name. So a really funny thing has happened. in recent times on my Discord. Everyone's been switching their names to duck-themed names. We have like Storm Duck, Ductor. I can't remember what A-Moves is. It's really funny. But yeah, we have Chosen Duck. There's so many. It's really quite funny. So a little look through chat, see what you guys thought of that game. Ruination of Cities is so funny. It did terrible. I can say doing okay up against High Elves because they're so tightly packed formation-wise. But you've got to get really lucky if it's such a random ability. What's up, Croissant Talbot? Hope you're doing good, good, buddy. And staying safe, of course. Good to get you back involved with some King of the Hill soon as well. I guess the Wood Elves have Orion. I love Orion! Or Onion. I love that. Well, he's got many layers to him. You don't have to pick him apart. He's quite a healthy guy. Illyrian Beavers. I love it. I love it. So, the king picks and bans one. Sure, it's some good fun. Gonna have a little sip of my drink. Keep me alive. And guys, if you have any questions, now is the perfect time to ask them. We do have one more game up after this as well with Darth Pendragon popping in to take down whoever wins this engagement. Looks like Chosen One going Wood Elves. That's very bold when you only have one ban. They have quite a few decent counters. Of course, Bretonians are the number one enemy of the Wood Elves. Very good up against them. But of course, anyone who can bring a lot of heavy cav, or cheap heavy cav in particular, can cause the Wood Elves all kinds of problems. I mean, that's some weird expedition over there. I bet Duck is... Wait, what? I bet Duck is waiting for Wood Elves to invade some Chaos Weights. I am indeed. Wood Elves... Whoa. Always good to see the Wood Elves in action. There are a few hard counters, so come at me. I love it. The confidence by Chosen One here. He has a right to be confident. He's been an absolute beast this stream so far. Can anyone drag him down? We have an RTK representative. If anyone knows what RTK stands for, it's quite a big clan. I believe Alric Roll's part of them as well. He's played quite a bit on the channel. And V Claw as well, who has his own Twitch channel. And I think YouTube as well, actually. So definitely check him out. Does some good tournaments as well. And hosts kind of regular tournaments and so forth. I don't want hard counters. Greenskins. Interesting. Green on green. The green of the Wood Elf cloak versus the green of the Orc skin. Should be some good fun. Let them pick their build set. Have another little sip on my drink. Gonna have to go queue up after this. Go get some food. Fortunately, all our supermarkets at the moment have a limited number of people allowed in at any given time. So you have to queue up here outside, but it's all fine. Do the same at my work at the moment. Let's just reset my stream as well on my phone. Make sure it's not messed around. And it was messing around. I was wondering. All of a sudden the chat seemed to stop. I was stuck like halfway through the game and I was like, oh, it's going all good. What's up, dog? Hope you're doing good, man. Sorry I missed so much. Oh my god, I missed like 3/4 of the battle. Hope you guys are all good. I am not a Wood Elf main, Aristodemus, no. Unfortunately, I'm Lizardmen. I do like Wood Elves though. I do play them quite a bit. Mandalorian is so good. It is. Mandalorian is amazing. The music in Mandalorian is fantastic. Those names are how Lotus Moon calls units when he's drunk. I love it. Lotus Moon's drunk streams are really fun to watch, by the way. If anyone does look for some entertainment in their evenings. Davina is a she. I think it is a female version of David. Okay. That's all cool. I told you treatment sucks. Treatment are awesome. Don't nobody listen to Aristodemus. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's not an amazing Wood Elf player or anything. I'm praying Chosen One, bring some Swift Shiver Shards here. Greenskins are quite a hard counter there. Nah, it's all good. Greenskins, one of the best swarming factions in the game, up there with Norska and Beastmen for such things. And of course, swarming against Wood Elves is always very potent and powerful. Although Wood Elves can, take this to a bit of a death blob build, going Durfu, lots of tree kin, war dancers, all that good fun stuff to drag down the Greenskins. You really can struggle here. I think 2 dragons could be quite effective as well up in the sky. No, Bandit, it's King of the Hill, who cares anyway? Yeah, just for fun. It is just for fun, of course. Join me, and together we can defeat the Lizardmen and embrace the full power of the Wood Elves. Maybe if they get some DLC stuff. I'm hoping. I feel like they needed 1 or 2 more lords coming in. Let me play a chosen one and I'll show you how to win. Laughs in 2 Luminarchs. So, a while ago, me, Ronin, and Chosen One were in, I believe it was Raptor's King of the Hill, over on his Twitch, and I think that was where it was. And Ronin took an illegal build, but it was all in good fun. We were kind of bringing fun and kind of stupid builds. I think I brought an illegal cold one, like Rohirrim build and stuff. And he brought 2 Luminarchs up against the Wood Elves, and he blitzed Orion. I think the Luminarch hit Orion like twice per shot, and he was down to like a quarter health in 1 volley, and he got deleted, and then it was so funny. It was like click and delete. These Luminarchs just picked apart this Wood Elf build. It was a really fun game. Looks like Davina is ready. Just waiting on the mighty Chosen One. Sisters of Twilight and Alario, yes! Yes, yes, yes. Sisters of Twilight are definitely a must-need. Javelinska. They're very good with their javelins. So, Ashley, you may be pleased to know I'm working on a little side project involving Wood Elves. It's exciting. Ooh. So, there's a game system called Dreams, which unfortunately is only on PlayStation. I wish it was on PC, it'd make things so much easier, especially with sharing you guys content. Basically, Dreams, it's basically like a game you buy, but it's more of a system where you can create music, your own games, scenes, all that type of stuff. So I'm getting my hands kind of dirty with it at the moment, just kind of getting used to it. It's very complex. It can take quite a few weeks to try and master stuff, but the idea is that I'm going to create a Warhammer game on Dreams, which anyone who has Dreams can play themselves, but I'll also showcase gameplay and stuff here on the channel, and kind of, my progress in making the game, and it is going to be set in Athel Loren, so we're going to certainly see a lot of Wood Elves. I won't spoil the story so far, it's a lot of twists and turns and all that stuff, but you're probably going to be playing as a Bretonnian knight, maybe a peasant ally as well. It could be some quite good fun. But anyway, regardless, let's get into the action. So let's see if Davina Quack here can overthrow the king, Chosen One, see if he's become, lax in his kinghood, thinking he's invincible. We will see. So we have goblins and orc boys in the front line. Cheap and cheerful shielded infantry is always good up against the Wood Elves. We do have some savage orc biggins to add a little bit of much needed punch as well in the back line. These guys have a bonus versus large. They should do okay as well up against treekin and so forth. We have 1 Doom Diver Catapult, which can do pretty decent damage overall. Even against big nasties as well, and flying units, it can be pretty accurate. We have Nasty Skulkers protecting it, which I quite like. And we have Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins. That is one hell of a mouthful to say. Looks like we have a couple of those guys. The Boar Boys certainly making a comeback in recent times. I can't remember which YouTuber it was. There's quite a big one talking about these guys. Maybe they're not quite as terrible as everyone thinks. And they're actually doing pretty decent work overall. We also have more Night Goblins as well, looking like they're waiting to be deployed. We have a Goblin Big Boss here on a Spider. Night Goblin Shaman coming in with that Vindictive Glare, Itchy Nuisance. And a Night Goblin War Boss on top of his Mighty Squig. Now, this guy can be very good. So he has Tormentor Sword, he's immune to Psychology, he has the War, very cheap and cheerful, he can pin people in place. However, you have to be very, very careful with him and a lot of micro. I recently showcased a game on the channel with Darv Plays, who's a very good player, but even with a tiny lapse of his micro, he gets him quite early on and he gets deleted by, I think, Carl Franz or someone? No, it was Malekith, I believe, and he just gets taken apart in seconds. It can be really scary. We do have Durussi Arrows as well in a nice vanguard position here. Night Goblin Shaman, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Pretty crazy deployment by both players. And let's have a look at the King. There's a really cool wrap formation here. He's coming in with a Glade Lady up in the sky. No, Glade Lord with Helm of Discord. Can be interesting to see this guy in action. Spellsinger of Life. We have Wild Riders with Shields. Dryads into the Sunset. Going to be very good in this matchup. Wardens of Sifril as well, one of my favourite units. Regiment Wildwood Rangers, certainly overlooked. They come in with that Armour Sundering. They have anti-large armour piercing, all that good stuff. We have more Wild Riders as well, dotted around. Sisters of Thorn, all that awesome good stuff. So really cool, fast-moving Vanguard build. Went over his forces a little bit quick there, but it looks like the guys are ready to get this underway. We also have the Teeth Robbers in a very precarious situation here. They should be able to escape as long as they don't get pinned in by the Glade Lord here. But we're certainly going to see a lot of Alpha Strikes coming in with Helm of Discord and those Wild Riders. Wild Riders do move forward, and these poor Rusty Arrows are going to get torn apart in a matter of seconds here. You see these guys getting dragged down very quickly. They'll get some Overwatch fire though by Orc Arrow Boys. Looks like Goblin Big Boss, not Wolf Boss, coming into Dryad to try and do some damage. And Vindictive Glare doing some huge damage off the bat here to the Glade Lord here. And of course, we do have the Spell Slinger of healing as well. Wild Riders popping back, trying to protect this line. And Dragon going to be used to try and deal with the Savage Orc War Boy Biggins, which isn't a bad shout, because they're currently deleting the Dryads in the front line. In the back line, Sisters of Thorn contemplated popping into the Doom Divers, but fantastic micro by Chosen One, managing to fall back instantly after noticing the nasty Skulkers and escaping any nasty smoke bombs which could come in to pin those guys in place. We do have a big HE nuisance come down, but unfortunately it looks like most of the Greenskin forces were routed before that could really come into play. Now we have Dryads and the Wardens forcing their way into the back line. Sisters of Thorn pushing up, just a little bit of kiting, as Dryads slowly forming on top of these Savage Orc Biggins. That'll be a nice little fight here. Orc Arrow Boys trying to be protected as best as possible. Wild Riders now going to be bouncing between engagements as they should be, trying to hunt down the Rusty Arrows, but in comes the Night Goblin Warboss here, trying to snipe out that Spellcaster, probably going to be dropping a Tormentor Sword as well to pin these guys in place and allow the Rusty Arrows to escape. We do have some really nice play by the Doom Diver Catapult, already up to, oh no, 0 kills there. I thought he came in here, so he did some decent damage to the Wild Riders, however. Fortunately, Night Goblin Shaman is being forced off the field. Glade Lord can probably just float into the back lines here on top of the Doom Diver Catapult, but instead he's going to be used to hunt down at these Savage Orc War Boy Biggins. Nasty Skulkers, unfortunately, hunting down Wild Riders where possible, but got caught up with some Dryads there, and Dryads will tear apart those poor little goblins. Now, there's a lot of forces over here, need to get active and a little bit more spread out. They can certainly force their way back onto the Doom Divers, and things are starting to look a little bit bleak for the Greenskins. They did manage to force their way through the front line, but no war has been popped yet, I don't believe. Where is that war boss? Looks like he is pinned in and surrounded here by Wild Riders. Probably quite in shock here by that massive Wood Elf of Vanguard, which did some really decent work, not relying too much on archers or anything. But in comes Helm of Discord, and this poor Night Goblin Warboss. This is what I'm talking about. Look how quickly his health gets destroyed by a mighty foe such as a dragon. Big Earthblood coming down as well. I think with the Warboss going and the Shaman on the ropes as well, this could well be an early GG's. Although, a lot of the force of the Greenskins are starting to return to the field and rallying. Looks like the Rusty Arrows can now get some consistent fire in on top of the Glade Lord, but with the healing of the Spell Slinger of Life, it's going to be really tough. Dryads mopping up Goblins as well, left, right and centre, and their backline completely in disarray here as Wild Riders hop on top of these Doom Diver Catapults, slowly shutting them down. Orc Arrow Boys trying to find a bit of protection in the centre pocket, but all that awaits them is a nasty dragon here who's going to be plodding into them here. I'll tell you, very glorious attack there. In fact, just decides to wander away out of there, but nudges a few of those guys over, and in come the Sisters of Thorn and Wild Riders gloriously charging into the floor here, going to be running over Orc Arrow Boys, who are not, terrible in combat, but they can't stand up to, the elite of the Wood Elf forces. I think we're going to have some happy people in chat here with the Wood Elves reigning victorious here. We do have some big Wood Elf fans in chat. And Goblin Big Boss, unfortunately, is deleted here. And that is going to be game. GG's. Very well played there to both players. Chosen One just about managing to run over enough of the Greenskins there to force away into the back line. Well played, Dave Gobbo, indeed. What's up, dog? Sorry to see you in chat as well. Hope you're doing all good. And very well played. So, overall, I really like the pick of the Wardens of Sifril, by the way, in a rush build. I think it can work very effectively, but I love Wood Elf rush builds. They know how I tend to play them. Can play them in multiple ways, but the Wood Elf rush build is definitely for me. This is very similar, almost identical to a build I actually I think I brought against Zyphos not too long ago, although I do go for Orion in certain matchups instead of the Glade Lord. But certainly Helm of Discord can be very powerful for those big blob fights. And unfortunately, Davina here just got a little bit overrun. I quite like the build, but definitely better up against the more, balanced Wood Elf builds or the traditional Way Watcher sniping, which you often see in this matchup, trying to bring down those war bosses and so forth. All the Greenskin characters, to be honest, are quite squishy, and people like to snipe them out. But anyway, GG's, fun game overall. GG. GG, sneaky. Sneaky indeed there by the Wood Elves. If you want to DM me on Discord, and I'll give you some tips in this matchup. Really nice there by Chosen One, and the great thing about Total War community in general is it's so welcoming. Easy to kind of, start something like a YouTube channel. People are always willing to compete, help teach, and so forth, and it really does definitely help out. So we have our last competitor here. We have Darth Pendragon stepping into the ring. Can Chosen One go the entire stream undefeated? One challenger remains. So let's upgrade this to 5 here. Darth Pendragon. This is where Papa Palpatine's plans all come together here. Wait, are we missing someone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, he can only get 6 wins, can't he? Because he is the 7th player. Okay, don't worry. My simple brain there being a bit fried. Let's drop an invite to Mr. Darth Pendragon. There he is. And we never got a map from Raptor. When we play the final map on a terribly suggested Raptor map. Aristodemus, though, if you want to hop in here and select a map for us, that'd be lovely. Aristo to pick map. And I'll hang out with you guys quickly. Refresh my chat, make sure it's all working. I can't wait till I can get 2 monitors. Clade Lord, would Elves have abused the pot 1 too many times? Yeah, that goblin, unfortunately, did get dragged down pretty nastily there. That's some good fun. No, Ashtamos is going, no! Just as he leaves! I demanded a map. But thank you for tuning in anyway, man. I almost deployed the other side. Yeah, that early kind of just jump scare, of the Wood Elves being around you all the time can be really scary. Black Ark Landon is the map. I think we've played on this map before, and I think it's horrible. Yep, it is. It's basically 2 choke points. Beautiful. No, my god, no. Aristo, no. Oh god, why? Aristo is picking map. There we go. Good fun. Ambush battle. Perhaps I'll try one of those next time, but that seems really unfortunate for the one person stuck in the ambush. If this is the last game I can say 10 more minutes, yes! It is the last game indeed. Oh god, please don't say Siege Battle. Please. Please. Siege Battles are getting a rework though. That is the news coming down the grapevine. Which I'm excited for. Apparently Grimgor is also going to be made the best soon. Which I'm excited to see. Oh, can you switch the map and go back? Boop. Boop. It be like that sometimes. Okay. Yes, I have. Okay, perfect. You can see the map. That can occasionally happen, unfortunately. I see Aristo has corrupted the stream, but there's no Raptor. I don't know what's happened to Raptor. I haven't seen him around in a little while, actually. I have to message him and make sure he's all good in the current pandemic. So normally, King of the Hills, for those who don't know, at the very end of the stream, we'll have one silly map voted for by either Raptor or Aristodemus, depending on who's around in chat. And we're playing that one. Of course, in tournaments, though, we do take it a little bit more seriously. And we do have a tournament tomorrow. We have Death Before Dishonor Season 3 Finals between Chosen One himself, who's the current reigning champion, A-Move Hacker, King of the Dead, and Flying Taco, which is a very, very scary batch of players, and each of them could certainly win it on their day. That's what's so good about kind of like the top tier players, I feel, in Total War Warhammer. Any of them on their day can be any of them, so it certainly makes tournaments very exciting. Oh no, Chosen One, don't do it! Coast and Banin Dowie. Feel like he's going to take a defensive formation here over these nasty choke points. It is. Thanks to Turin for making me see it. Oh, the map. It is a bit of a meme map, but it should be some good fun. It's a fun way to end out. Oh, I see Palpatine. My secret second apprentice is going to have to kill my first apprentice. There's a very classic Sith fashion there. I do enjoy it. Give Grimgor a slow debuff like Hunter of Champions and he will be a lot better already. I can certainly... Honestly, him with just a Hunter of Champions style ability, you'd have to call it something different, or a localized War, I believe a certain few people have been calling for. I can see him definitely being much, much more viable, which would be great because Grimgor's the best. We want Grimgor to be the best. He's such a cool guy in the lore. Unfortunately, he's been a bit of a damper noodle for quite a long time. I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as people make him out to be, though. He certainly allows you to pop off a few wars a battle, and if he can catch his opponents, he can really drag them down. But yeah, being a slow foot lord can be a bit of a problem. Darth Pendragon going High Elves here, so we have the glorious High Elves going to be riding on their high horses, trying to claim the rightful kingship at the end of the stream, or will Chosen One go undefeated, raise that crown high above his head, blood-soaked in victory. Full Vanguard Skaven, yes, yes. Actually, full Vanguard here would be brilliant. I would be very tempted to go for a full Vanguard build with either the Wood Elves. I'll probably go Wood Elves up against Chosen One here and just go full Vanguard. Bring those Swift Shiver Shards to take down their gunners and so forth. Could be some good fun. We will blot out the sun with Weeb Rap Naruto running and throwing shurikens. Let's see what I did miss through chat during the battle. Forza, you'll face the grim reality of another Skaven DLC. Skaven and Lizardmen have been very well treated in my opinion. I'm a Lizardman main, so I enjoy all the extra Lizardman stuff. It is what dreams are made of. Just call it "Come here, you gets," and it'd be glorious if he shouted it when the spell was casted. That's true. That'd be true. I've also heard they talk about the dual mechanic for Total Warhammer 3. I'm hoping it doesn't get put in. I think they're cross mindset. It depends how they change it. Perhaps it can work well. Or perhaps have a button to turn it off. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the dual mechanic. I didn't really play Three Kingdoms, and I like the idea of it. I think the idea is quite cool, and I see where they're trying to go with it, but I don't think it is really going to work. Hopefully after Fantasy Total Warhammer's all wrapped up, they will get into 40k and stuff. And there's a lot of problems with that and ways of working around it, but I'm sure the chaps at CA will be more than up for the challenge. If anyone can let me know as well how long the stream has been running for, I'd be very grateful. Let's make sure we have no questions in Discord, as we have a ton of messages. No, I just got a message from Pacta. He just got home. He literally just got home from work. Ah, so close. Looks like Darth Pendragon is ready, just waiting on the Mighty King now. Oh, looks like Chosen One was ready as well. We will see. And here we go, the final game of the stream on the glorious Black Ark Landing, a map we've had on the channel before, believe it or not. And can anyone stop Chosen One? As you can see, it is a horrific map. Person on the left certainly has an advantage as far as defensively. There's a nice... I think this is actually a ramp, by the way. So you get the high ground, you get to pin in the forces. If the High Elves are on this side, and they can, have all their spears nicely lined up and shooting over the top, then they're certainly in a good position. However, there's a second bridge, so you can force their way around. But this is actually quite a tight bit, so you can get a nice little kind of L-shaped defensive formation coming in. If the High Elves are down here, they're going to have to try and shoot their way in, which can be tough because of the layout of the map. As you see, this is quite a hefty ramp here. Glorious looking map. And very fun to do on campaign and so forth. Multiplayer-wise, not so much, but still. Big, old, beautiful Black Ark there has been making a landing in this, deserty terrain here. I thought that was going to be a pyramid in the background, but some mountains. But don't know who would want to live here realistically. But of course, they must have spotted an army on the march here and decided to hop in and try and invade. Oh my god, I missed it again. Pacta, dude, I even sent you a message, my dude. I sent you a message like a couple of hours ago, like, look, I'm doing a King of the Hill. Remember. But unfortunately, looks like you're at work, dude. surrounded. Duels would be a bit unbalanced in Warhammer because of the monsters. Yes, because of monsters and wizards and casters and so forth. I don't think it would work realistically. But looks like the High Elves are coming in with 3 Eagle Claw bolt throwers. Darth Pendragon going heavy here on the artillery. He also has a load of spearmen mixed in with Phoenix Guard. And as long as the Phoenix Guard don't get obliterated by firepower, they'd be a very sticky unit to deal with. And if there's a crab rush, they will be perfect counters. We have a couple of units of Lothran Seaguard as well, and some Illyrian Reavers who are probably going to be put into Vanguard to try and hop on cannons and so forth. I actually really like them in a lot of matchups, but particularly this one. We have a Mage of High Magic with a Tempest coming in. We also have Apotheosis for nice healing, and Soul Wrench. Tempest can be used to deal with any flying forces as well. Combine that with the Equal Bolt Throwers and all the archers, should be pretty good. We also have the Mighty Tyrion as well, coming with all his nice buffs and so forth. Coming in with Sunfang, which can do some really decent work in this matchup. Obviously, hit all his own buffs, and Heart of Avalon, which occasionally won't just go off because he'll go off, but he'll get broken just before it, which is really frustrating. So the High Elves do start to line up, and the Dark Elves. I keep thinking Dark Elves because of the Black Ark, but oh no! No! This is a disaster for the forces of the High Elves here. They're going to be forced forward by Queen Bess, who does not need line of sight here. She's going to be launching her shots up and over this ramp here. This could be really bad for the High Elves. I'd probably take the long game, and wrap around the side here might be a better bet. So apart from the mighty Queen Bess in the front line, we do have a ton of zombie pirate deckhand mobs just trying to hold the enemy back where possible. We have a gunnery wight who's going to be replenishing the ammo of Queen Bess here. And then more pirate deckhand mobs, some polearms as well for better protection, and also a mortar. So he clearly knew the map and was ready and prepared for this to do those nice arcing shots over the top. We have a vampire fleet captain as well of vampires coming with Invocation of the Heck and Raised Dead. We have some Fellbats as well, going to help him get a bit of line of sight. We have a Rotten Leviathan. Nice to see this guy picked on his own here instead of with a character on top, like Diaphan and so forth. Going to be getting in there, and look how horrifyingly ugly this crustacean is. Dripping saliva as well, not a good way to die. Looks like we have some deckhand polar mobs as well on the left-hand flank to try and protect. We also have Luther Harkin up in there, going to be cackling and shooting his pistol as his multiple personalities do take control, and he probably forgets now and again that he is indeed in battle, but I'm sure he'll love to turn up in one. He does have Hornswaggle, Death Shriek, all that good stuff, and should be some good fun. He actually has magic resistance as well, which would be quite nice up against the Tempest if he does get caught. Oh. So we're ready. I am going to regret this build, but whatever. I think he is, because unfortunately the bolt throws aren't really going to be able to hit anything. Queen Bess does have a lot of fire potential, but I'll just be like, remember, it is attacking rules. Just so Queen Bess will be forced forward if she's not in range straight away, of course. This map is amazing in campaign, though. It does look amazing. It does look amazing. So, in fact, I'm just in your fin. Is King of the Hill today a move? Yes. Well, it might have been his time, in fairness. I can't remember where a move is from. It was nearly midnight, so it was very close. I'm so sorry, Pactor. I did send you a private message as well to try and inform you, but... So, Eagle Bolt for us, unfortunately, I'm going to be able to see anything realistically. I might be able to snipe out the Luther Harkin and so forth, but he's going to be constantly moving and healing, and the forces of the High Elves do move forward. Alien Reavers used defensively here, so not being pushed forward too much. Looks like his character's trying to go forward. Luther Harkin flying over the void here. Look how glorious this looks as he does an arc over the mountainside here. Just darting along, and Alien Reaver's going to be darting forward here. Looks like the forces of the pirates are moving forward. Good luck, good luck. Always good to see. And Queen Bess is starting to roll forward. Unfortunately, we can't see the range on her. She's still going to be able to target some of these guys down. And Alien Reaver's boldly charging up the Black Ark here, led by the mighty Tyrion and the Mage of High Magic here, gloriously charging up the ramp, perhaps expecting to fight some Dark Elves here, but instead when they get up there, they're actually going to find out that the Dark Elves have unfortunately all fallen and been turned into the Pirate Undead. Tyrion going balls deep here. Absolute Leroy Jenkins in it here. I'm not quite sure what Darth Pendragon has in mind. But he's popped onto the Rotten Leviathan here. Mage of High Magic up here as well. Looks like they're desperately trying to fall back now, but certain Leroy Jenkins moment. Tyrion luckily managed to escape there, but he's going to lose a few of his Illyrian Reavers here. Ah, he was coming in with the... what is that, an ability? What's it called? The or is that Soul Quench? Coming in with Soul Quench. It's an ability you don't see too often. I believe it is Soul Quench. Coming there, trying to snipe out the mortar. Doing some decent work here to Queen Bess. Taking her down a little bit of health, but still active and firing. I like that though, like riding out in a little sally there. Being forced off here by Hellbats. And in comes Queen Bess's shots. Looks like they had a little bit of a swing and a miss, and Illyrian was going to get away relatively unscathed. So overall, not a bad little attack there on Queen Bess. Not quite able to snipe her out just about yet. This map is so unbalanced. Here's Soul Quench. There we go, perfect. Bolt throws now being used up against Luthargan. The map is certainly unbalanced, but of course, you know, last map of the stream is always a little bit of a fun one. Looks like we do have a really nice Tempest though, catching Luther Harkin. If these bolt throws can now start to unleash some shots, they can do some serious damage to him. And they're coming in, they're all hitting now. That extreme health actually pulling him down there just to 4,444 health. And it looks like the high health Cav contingent is going to wrap around this flank to try and go on top of his opponent. But of course you can see it from a mile off, unfortunately, and that is going to allow the pirates here to reform their lines and get ready for that. The rest of the High Elves forces are starting to move forward as well. Phoenix Guard being kept well out of range. He really wants to try and deal with Queen Bess before he does commit to such an engagement. Bolt throw shots, unfortunately, dropping wide. And this just shows the scale here of a Black Ark Corsair ship. It is gigantic. It completely dwarfs even a Rotten Leviathan. Just the bridge alone, you could march an entire army over this. The Fairbat's taking an interesting route to get towards the Illyrian Rivers, who are being used at the moment as protection here for the mage, who's going to be trying to sneak forward a little bit and hop on top of Queen Bess where possible. Tyrion as well is a pretty decent little combatant to go with them. And there is no Leviathan to counter this time. It looks like the mortars have started to push up where possible, and Queen Bess as well is now actively firing. But interested to see what she does indeed target. We can follow this shot flowing through the air here as it does come down above us. And kaboom! Catches a few of those spearmen at the back there, but nothing too crazy. Bolt throws are being moved forward as well, trying to get a bit of line of sight. Probably going to start taking down the Rotten Leviathan. And in the distance, Luther Harkin is just constantly hounding this mage, shooting her with his pistols where possible. Looks like we are going to be getting a enchanted ballistics there, increasing the reload skill and accuracy of these units. And the bolt throws are actually arcing some shots over here. Not quite sure if they can hit Queen Bess. I find it unlikely. But let's see, a few shots coming over. Perhaps they were targeting down the Rotten Leviathan. And yeah, they're just kind of... No, I'm not sure. They might actually be able to drag down Queen Bess here. Unfortunately, so many spearmen are paying the price here. They can fall back with those, snipe out Queen Bess and the mortar, and really force these guys forward. Another Soul Quench coming in. Destroys Queen Bess. Really good patient play coming in by Darth Pendragon. It has nearly cost him his mage. We are getting an Apotheosis coming down, trying to heal her up. Nice play by Luther Harkin, trying to snipe her down. Like Tyrion, though, riding out, sallying forth on his lonesome here. This is probably a perfect... Oh, Sunfang coming in. Do some pretty decent damage. These are cheap and cheerful troops. But still, you know, damage is damage, and it completely decimates these zombie pirate deck ham-ups. Unfortunately, without Tyrion over here to protect, Luther can easily just pop in on top of this mage of high magic and chase her off the field. But really nice play to get rid of Queen Bess here. That is now just one mortar left. Fortunately, mortar's still going to be very good up against the tightly packed formations here. Queen Bess crew even being launched forward. I don't know if the Elves realistically can play the waiting game here with this mortar active, but they still have their free bolt throws as well. So I can do some nice spread damage here onto the counts. Or pirates, sorry. Looks like the mage of high magic did manage to rally, and Tyrion is driving that horse hard back towards the mage for a bit of protection, but the constant fire from Luther Harkin really is going to be a problem. That mage certainly needs to get back to the more defensive formation where she can be protected by the bolt throws and so forth. Looks like they have switched here to their scatter shot, doing some pretty decent damage to the zombies overall, but they're cheap and cheerful zombies, they're not going to mind too much. Lothar and Seaguard as well doing that nice consistent fire. Felbats are popping into the back, but great defensive play here by Darth Pendragon, pulling in those Illyrian Reavers, driving those guys away. It looks like the Sallying crew has managed to drag their way back as well. And Spearmen get in here, and the ultimate wet cabbage, wet noodle, whatever you want to call it, contest here is coming into play as Spearmen up against zombie pyrodecca mobs. It's going to be a very long battle indeed, but Phoenix Guard certainly going to be really useful here for dragging down pretty much the entirety of this army. They just really need to get that mortar offline, which is getting replenished ammo here by that gunnery wind. Another Tempest coming in. This Mage of High Magic has certainly been for the ringer here, but has been really well played so far by Pendragon up against tough odds, slowing down Luther Harkin once more as the bolt throws now do turn their gaze onto the man himself, trying to do some decent damage, but looks like most of the shots actually a bit of a swing and a miss. In the front line, Phoenix Guard tearing through their foes, but Mortars really doing fantastic damage here, up to 11 kills, but that is 11 dead Phoenix Guard, which is certainly a lot more damage than it sounds. Rotten Leviathan as well is going to be a bit of a beastie here. Fellbats lurking here. One of these Alien Reavers needs to stay back here. They have to stay back. It looks like Darth Pendragon has realised it's going to be pulling these guys back because these Fellbats can pop on here. That's such good value. The Mage of High Magic also probably needs to swoop around where it can be protected a little bit. Otherwise, there's nothing currently stopping Luther Harkin from floating over here and tearing it down that Mage. Lots of shots coming down onto Harkin here, and Tyrion is nearby. He could certainly snipe him out. He's a fantastic duelist, and he does manage to catch the man himself, looping around his mighty steed here. We're doing some seriously good damage. There's a rotten Leviathan here as well, with Vampire Fleet Captain and some summoned zombies as well. Phoenix Guard holding firm though, doing some really decent damage. Apotheosis keeping one of them active. Tyrion needs to get in there and start trying to pound these guys down as much as possible. Nice archer fire going over the top onto the mortars, pulling them apart. This has been mortars, not just one as I previously suspected. One of the mortars pretty much gone now, but they've done such good value dragging down Phoenix Guard and so forth. And the big blob fight has got underway. Taunt though really helping Luther Harkin here in his engagement up against Tyrion, but they're going tit for tat here. And now that's popped off, Tyrion is going to slaughter Harkin in decent combat. Phoenix Guard holding the line desperately as much as possible. And all these bolt throws as well, starting to load in there with the ammunition and do some decent work. Fellbats have popped down onto the Mage of High Magic, so out sally the Alien Reavers. Up the ramp they go, trying to hunt those guys down and protect the Mage where possible. Tyrion doing a decent job here, but he's currently being 2v1, although it looks like the Rotten Leviathan is stuck behind Luther Harkin a little bit here, and getting staggered as well by bolt thrower play, and getting forced back. Looks like one of the mortars is pretty much completely gone. They still have one firing left, but they're minus 23 leadership, so they're certainly going to disappear shortly. And the archers have switched their target to the second mortar here. Bolt throws doing some really decent damage onto the Rotten Leviathan, who has popped in, and Liam Reeves are now committed to the fight. So Luther Harkin could just pop back here. There's some spearmen protecting, but to be honest, he can just hop on these Evil Bolt throws and destroy them very quickly. It looks like he's currently focused on the main engagement here, and I think the High Elves may have this. It's tough to tell though. Chosen One, of course, is not the undefeated king without reason. Rotten Leviathan does have Invocation to heckle him, but he is slowly being dragged down here. Mage of High Magic and Tyrion getting very, very low here. Tyrion taking a bit of a beating, unfortunately, and close to breaking. Luther Harkin doing that consistent damage with his pistol all game on top of these heroes, doing some really fantastic work. And we now have pole arms on Tyrion, not where he wants to be. Another Sunfang could be quite key. Bolt throw shots as well, doing really good damage onto the Rotten Leviathan, who's trying to escape, trying to get back here so he can be healed up effectively. But down to just 900 health, he's starting to struggle a little bit. Lovely though, the Heart of Avalon does pop off, and Tyrion, his morale just boosts up massively there now, as he does take the fight to the enemy. Luther Harkin now desperately trying to get back onto these Uclaw bolt throws, but most of them have used up their ammo, so they've got a pretty decent amount of value left. But still, these shots could be key. And this is a really nice pick by Luther Harkin. Of course, all of this is helping the balance of power. Tyrion is stuck up there in the high ground. And it looks like the Buffalo's trying to get away as much as possible. And at least they're going to be able to, crossfire charge in if these guys can at least hold for a little while with the help of the spin. In the main engagement, there's some high elf troops who need to get back, but a lot of them are starting to break here. Tyrion also is starting to flee, and the Phoenix Guard have finally broken, which is so unfortunate. They held the line for so long. Mage of High Magic as well is being forced back as the mortar stands victorious. In the back lines, it looks like Luther Harkin has popped up into the sky here, but is taking one or two bolts as well. Once again, his healing cap can be seen now. Tyrion is forced back. I think the High Elves need to retreat here, pull back to the bolt throwers and allow them to finish off the big Rotten Leviathan and so forth. As Tyrion here is just taking unnecessary damage, he's getting isolated. The Vampire Fleet Captain, of course, as well, comes in and is a bit of a decent melee combatant as well. So we do have a lot of these units rallying, including the Mage of High Magic, which is really key here, although it looks like a breath attack is coming down on him, and ooh, that Mage just goes down and completely shatters here. One more Tempest might have been enough to finish off Luther if those bolt throwers were ready. Looks like Tyrion hunting down that crab booty where possible, trying to stick Sunfang where the sun don't shine. But unfortunately, Vampire Fleet Admiral here may be the turning point with Luther Harkin. They're trying to goon out the mighty Tyrion himself. He has Hornswaggle popped on him, and he is getting slaughtered here, which is unfortunate. All the shots trying to finish off the Rotten Leviathan, and that is going to be game to the Vampire Coast. But what a play there by the High Elves. I think in the map certainly didn't help there. With the mortars and so forth being able to shoot over the top, but regardless, really entertaining game by both players there. Queen Bess, 55 kills, not too bad, lovely to see her in action, but the King does stand victorious. Luther Harkin probably being the MVP here, managing to slowly, over the course of the battle, as it was a long engagement, with that pistol, whittle down Tyrion, whittle down the Mage, and use his mobility as well. Phoenix Guard desperately tried to hold the line, and at the end of the day, the equal bolt throwers still got pretty good value. Needed to take out that mortar. He did indeed. GG. Great game. That was a really unique game, but super fun. That was something. It was indeed. Nice best snipe. So, Chosen One is the undefeated king of the stream, coming in with 6 straight victories, getting nice and warmed up for tomorrow's finals. Super good fun indeed. So let's say GG to those guys. I will lose the game, but take out Bess. I was pretty pissed. That's funny. All hail the undefeated king of the stream. Chosen One. Dun dun dun. Hold on. Yup. So well done to Chosen One then. No one could pull down the mighty Meister himself, even at the map of Terrors. Good night, Arisadamos. Thank you for sticking around for the final game and for the beautiful map. Great way to end a King of the Hill, I certainly agree. So guys, if you have any questions, now is the best time to ask them, as I'll be sticking around for 1 or 2 minutes while we close out the stream. Sorry for murdering half your clan. We shall have vengeance. For the ducks are many and the ducks are mighty. Thanks for hosting. No worries, Chosen One. Great to have you here. See you tomorrow in the tourney. Perfect. Make sure we got no questions on Discord. Dun dun dun. Looks like we're all good. So guys, if you do want to take part in future King of the Hills and tournaments such as this, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just down in the description below. If you want to support the channel in any way, feel free to join my Patreon. Have one just down there as well. Or just simply like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a hugely good fun, and it's so good to see so many old faces and so many new faces. I'll have a little quick look through what I missed out on chat. Looks like you guys are all having a good time. Behold the king! The king! King indeed. Chosen, excellent player. He is indeed. Chosen is very tough. He is undefeated because I wasn't memeing against them. This is the problem, Ronnie. See, you need to meme. Memes give you power. People don't understand this, but memes actually increase your chances of winning. Yeah, that's going to be a bit worse, I feel. You're the current champ, I believe. Chosen One did manage to take down Flying Taco in Season 2 of Death Before Dishonor in a 3-2 series, which was insane. But Season 3 finals tomorrow, 7:30 British Summer Time. Be there or be square. I'll go see you tomorrow. Awesome. So guys, peace, peace. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been awesome. How many are there in the Duck Guard at the moment? For the Duck Clan, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 members of DBD, which is always good to see. Thanks for streaming, Rubber Duck. No worries. I'll let you know if I can make Tyrion's 2v2 soon. Thank you, Poison Ducky. That'd be perfect. And no worries, guys. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are the real MVPs. So anyway, guys, until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.